Hello, everybody. Hey, welcome back. Hello to episode 28. Is it? I think it's 28. Could be wrong.
I think it is. Yes,
But
28.
episode 28 of SOS season 3. Hope everybody's doing well. We've all just kind of getting things going over here. I forgot to not have this open. There we go. Yeah, welcome. A lot of announcements today. We're really excited to keep playing. Obviously, we've taken a couple of weeks off due to holiday nonsense. I hope everybody enjoyed their Thanksgiving. If you celebrate, if you don't, I hope you had a hell of a great just couple of weeks and things were really good for you. The holidays are quickly approaching and everybody's feeling that stress. So I'm here to make the players more stressed out. And but before we do that, if you guys have been enjoying the show, we got to shill at you. Make sure you go over. First things first, the free thing. Go join our Discord. Our Discord's totally free to join. It's a huge community approaching 1,000 people. There's a bunch of people that talk about our shows, other games, general chat. It's not just Vampire. You can go check all that stuff out. And if you watch our other shows on top of SOS, all of that stuff's over there as well, which leads me into my second thing I wanted to announce that we've talked about, I think, on Twitter and our Discord and stuff. But starting soon, what week exactly? Starting tomorrow, we are bringing back Scott Free, our little mini series for 5 episodes, our little Anarch series with storyteller
four
Josh.
episodes.
4 episodes, sorry. Josh will be our storyteller again. All the OG characters will be back. You got Candy, you got Tim, you got Ikemba and
JR.
JD. Oh, JR. JD Vance is something entirely different. And JR. And JR all coming back. And see what's going on in the area of Gary. I've been talking to Josh privately a little bit to tell him like what the situation in Gary is after the events of the last season closer for Cracked Ground. And they'll be dealing with the ramifications of those actions more or less. So if you're interested to see how that's going to go, check it out. And if you want to watch the first season of Scott Free, it's also just 4 episodes. You can do that on pretty much all your podcasting apps everywhere. And I think on our YouTube channel, which is Pod by Night. But I'll double check on that after. But yeah, it's gonna be super fun. I'm excited to play. It's always a really good time to just jump in and play Vampire. I very rarely get to check it out, and playing with these guys is always an absolute treat. And then other than that, you can actually financially support us if you'd like. You can head over to patreon.com/podbynight, where all the funds that go into Pod by Night Patreon go into making sure all these shows run to some varying degrees, getting us art and emotes and paying our cast members for saying, showing up and doing the work. And if you wanted to, you can also subscribe to this Twitch channel, which will give you direct access to all the VODs on this Twitch channel immediately after we're done. It gives you access to the emotes that we pay people to make. And you also get access to, that's like pretty much what you get access to there. And then if you want to catch up on SOS, you can see the first 2 seasons in full over at youtube.com/roll4it, which is what the partner that we're working with to make this whole season happen. And the reason we get to see our dearest Emmy come back over and over again in the most cute and adorable ways possible. I'm excited to see Emmy again. She'll be back. Don't you worry. She'll be back again. But did I miss? I feel like I probably missed something. I don't know if I did, but
I don't think so, but I did find the image for Scott Free. Sorry, y'all. I'm a little slow today. So just so you have all the deets, it's there on the screen. We're going to record the next 2 Sundays, and we will release the following Friday to podcast. So, yes, there you have it.
Yeah, I'm excited. It'll be fun. All right. Well, we left off on an interesting spot last week. We haven't done a recap in a little while. Tracy, why don't you go ahead and give us a quick recap of what happened last episode? We don't need a full recap of the past few, but give us the highlights of last episode for those for me too.
It's been a couple of weeks, so good to catch everybody up on what was going on.
Making all this vapor rage over here.
Just want to highlight before we dive into this that Tracy is a part of my Tuesday nights games, and it is my highlight when Tracy recaps. She brings so much energy to the recaps. I fucking love it so much.
And we've already established I always have a bias to my characters.
It's fantastic.
And,
of course.
So that won't change.
If anybody's going to give a bias recap in this coterie, it's going to be Ava.
The Ava. Yep. Of course. So our last episode started with Ava meeting with the Sabbat group, the Freedom Fighters, and Grant was there, had a conversation with them. They didn't offer too much. Mostly what they said was, we know your predicament and we're willing to help. We can do the dirty work. whatever you need, you got us. It didn't really, Abe was like, okay, we might be interested.
It was more like they're already working toward the same thing you are.
Yeah.
Let's work together, common enemy kind of thing.
my New Yorker accent came out. Whatever you need, you got us.
Whatever you need, we can help there.
My New Yorker. So
I'm Italian. I'm allowed to do that.
Yep. Same, and from New York. So Grant and I got out of there. Recapped to I almost say Bub, Ollie and Dakota, and they were not too pleased. They're like, "What? We were not working with Sabbat."
Sabbat is such a generalized term.
Yeah. Well,
for douchebags.
It's
out of the question. Nice.
But you know what never changes, Mathis? The principle. The principle of Sabbat never changes, no matter what you want to call it. Oh, I'm so sorry. You're freedom fighters. Their principle's the same.
Thank you.
They just
Thank you very much.
So Ollie and Dakota were not having it. They're like, no, we're not working Sabbat. And then they told Kevin and some other things as well. And he's like, no, we're not working Sabbat.
And Cretius is like, don't be a dumbass.
No. So the general consensus across the board is no, we're not working with Sabbat. So that closes that door for the most part. Maybe not. We'll see. But so then the next big thing that happened was, Grant keeps getting either kidnapped, badly harmed, or worse. So
he gets kidnapped like once every couple of years. It's not like it's often.
He's our damsel in distress.
He's your
Rose
like one
nearly killed
regular
him.
Ghoul.
Rose nearly killed him, and then he got kidnapped.
Prince in another castle.
Grant needs help, man.
So it was like, okay, we need to do something about this. Like Grant has been pushing to join us in the eternal embrace. So we decided to, Ollie and I went to the Prince. We also talked a little bit about doing a heist, Ocean's 11 style, to steal the dagger from the Prince. But I don't know. We have a plan.
You have
the
a plan
is potentially
that involves
get an Elysium.
And an Elysium, yeah.
Yeah, get an Elysium, get the Prince out of her little hidey hole, get Emmy in there to snatch it. But we'll see if that happens. But Ollie and I went to the Prince and were asked permission to embrace Grant. And she was okay with it, but she wants to approve whom will be his sire. And that is the question. And we had quite a extensive discussion with Grant on what clan he could be embraced into. And the two really is either Gangrel or Nosferatu. The issue is Dakota and Ollie can't really do it because they're 13th generation and they would make a thin blood. So Snitch as a maybe option, maybe some other Gangrel as an option.
Dakota's sire.
Yeah, Dakota Sire, right, was the option.
What you just learned is in town.
And so that is potentially Grant is gave him some time to think about it and think which one he wants. But really, that was the only two options. He was trying for some other options, and it was like no. So
which we don't know the relationship between Dakota's sire and the Prince currently, correct? We have no idea.
You don't really know.
Okay.
You don't think there is one because she literally ditched Dakota and never showed up in Chicago. Mm-hmm. So there's very likely no relationship there.
Okay.
Yeah. So
fingers crossed.
That's, the next course of action is trying to figure out who is to embrace Grant. The plan is once he gets embraced, there will be an Elysium to welcome him into Chicago as the newest kindred, newest lick. And that's the
newest lick in about 20 years in the city.
Yeah.
I might even make it 20
Play
years
in politics, baby. Come on.
So Dakota's really hoping that it'll be a Gangrel, so she can rub it in everybody's faces, but we'll see. And so the last like big thing that happened is Ollie went off somewhere. I don't know where Ollie was going.
To find Snitch in the cathedral.
Find Snitch. Dakota and Ava went off to Dakota really wants to find every Gangrel in the immediate Chicago area, including potentially the Sabbat. So I'm leading her to the area where the Sabbat took me.
Their politics don't matter, only the fact that they're Gangrel.
she wants to invite them to her little gangrel gathering, and so we're gonna go look for them. But Dakota also informed Ava that she's quite interested in the notebook that Ava has, Saito's notebook, and she was like, "Hey, Ava, we're gonna have to either." She was pretty upfront, actually. I'm glad. Either you give us a piece of the notebook, or else me and Ollie are taking it to give it to the Tremere. And so I agreed. I was like, Dakota, you could take a page from Saito's notebook if you let me have one more premonition. So
it's like a drug dealer bargaining for
yeah. And so we agreed. We did we ended the last episode.
A strong word. I hesitantly nodded yes is what I did.
You can have a hit, but I get half of it, okay? Like I get a little hit too.
I actually said 1 page per premonition. Like, you can have 1 page per premonition, and you were like, no. But that's not happening. But I did we ended last episode on Ava having a premonition.
Well, do you want to recap what happened with Snitch and Ollie?
Oh, yeah. Did we have the whole scene with Snitch and Ollie?
Yeah. Snitch, he went to go ask Snitch if he would sire.
And what did
Grant
Snitch say?
Go ahead, Bob.
Snitch
Ollie
first said no. He said no. Hell no. Not happening. Not in this lifetime. And Ollie was like, what if we sweeten the deal? Right? Instead of no, you try yes, right?
Yes.
You try yes. And he goes, oh, why? Like, what, where's the value in that? Like, what do I have to gain? It's like, okay, all right, now hear me out. What if you relinquish your title of holder of the labyrinth and the cathedral prison?
Yes.
I think it was Snitch that made the offer to you, saying that he would do it under that single condition.
Yeah.
And that the caveat was that I would do that, but he would have to sire Grant, and that he would step down from...
And leave the city.
Leave the city, step down from his position, and elect me to his position. Yeah.
Play politics a little bit, get you the position, but once sired with Grant, and you take Grant with him, right?
I don't know about that. I think
no.
It was,
okay, I thought that
Grant
he would have to sire and then leave it for. You were going to be like a Mawa, right?
Gotcha. Okay, I feel like I remember touching on that briefly in the conversation. I'll have to refresh myself.
I think that went to Bella. But the deal was that he would turn Grant, but not necessarily take Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see where that goes, if that's going to be a deal that they take. But
your vision was the last thing we left off on.
Yes, the vision was me seeing my shadow, and then seeing Celia. I remember from it was Celia.
Correct. So basically, you were in the backseat of the car. You made your deal. One more hit, please, Mom. One more hit. It won't do anything bad, I promise. And so she said, okay. So you made your premonition check, and you saw sitting next to you your own shadow. And as the shadow and you noticed each other, it grabbed you by the throat and it pulled you into itself. And you went drowning and usual a slightly different sensory experience than usual. Instead of like the whispers, it was silent for a while, and then the whispers slowly began to emanate, and until eventually the shadows themselves, as though hard to tell, began to move, and they began to coalesce around you before they started taking a shape. And then as the shadows took a shape, and you recognize that shape, you recognize that silhouette as that of Celia's silhouette, and you also recognize the shadows. I mean, the whispers were coming out of her silhouette, out of her shadow. And when she fully coalesced into a particular form, all the whispers stopped talking, and that's where we ended the episode.
Got it.
There you go. All right. Yep. Well, with that all said, we all know, I think, where we're going to be picking up here. So if we're good to go, let's go ahead and rein things in, set the scene, and pick up where Ava left off. In that moment, Ava, as the shadows snap to form, and you can just barely make out the silhouette of a familiar younger woman in that of Celia, who you haven't seen in some time, I need a roll from you. Let me... I should have had the character sheet open, my bad. Oh, they changed a lot.
Yes.
Hang on. This is not the same.
In the last 2 weeks, Roll20 got massive updates.
It's the book.
Whoa,
the magic book now
nice.
has.
Everything's been improved.
Wow,
it's just gonna take a little bit of getting used to.
Yeah, no, that's actually really, really good. All right, first I need from you, Ava. Let's just do a straight wits awareness to start.
Okay. Awareness and wits. Let's go.
Was that, did you? Okay, that's, I didn't make the noise for me. I didn't actually see it. So yeah, 4 successes. Perfect. The last thing I need from you then with the success on that is a resolve composure check.
Okay.
Which is going to be 2 attributes. So you might need to manually roll that.
Yep. There we go.
Oh, nice. 3 successes. Did you want to spend a willpower and re-roll that 1?
Nah, I'll stick with the 3.
Before the vision comes to its sudden and unfortunate end, with no sighting of Saito whatsoever, perhaps to your dismay, instead you notice a flickering light in the darkness past her, almost eeping out. And when you see the flickering dim light, it's through like a thick layer of what looks to be like clouds. It's dim, it's diffused through it. And it's very, very faint. It's hard to notice even in all of this, but your eye is caught. Do you choose to do anything? And I mean, so let me describe it a little bit better. So you're like, if we were going to like, measurement ranges, you're probably like 20 feet from the silhouette of Celia, and then another 50 feet behind her, just to her left, on like what you would consider ground level, if there was a ground level in this area, through thick, foggy clouds, you see this dim white light that occasionally seems to flicker through bright enough to catch your attention once or twice.
Dim bright light that flickers. Yeah, I would avert my attention to that and see if I can.
Do you walk closer or do you stay where you are?
I will walk closer to it.
And you begin to stride closer, and and as you place one foot in front of the other, and we are at our vision down on the on what we can consider the floor, we see her heels touch ground to to an absolute void of anything physical. There does seem to have that slight reverberation, or say recoil, when her foot hits the ground, as though there is something solid. And as you stride one step after the other, and we follow you ever closely, you walk past the silhouette of Celia. And Celia, as far as you could tell, or at least a silhouette of such, doesn't turn to watch you. And if you look behind you, it doesn't seem to follow. It seems static where it stays. But you walk beyond her and cover that 50 or so feet, getting closer to where you swear you saw a couple flickers of light through that thick cloud. I need another wits awareness. Remember, you can spend, you can rouse once and add 2d10 to this.
Yeah, you know what? Good reminder, because I am going to do that. And I succeeded, so I don't get hungrier. And awareness and wits, I will add 2 dice to this.
Yeah.
Woo!
Okay. Do you want to spend a willpower point and re-roll 3 of the failures?
That's a lot of dice. Yes, I'm going to spend a willpower since I gave myself the extra dice. I'll re-roll 3. Okay.
So you get total. Oh, you crit. So you, because you re-rolled and you rolled a 10, you messy crit.
Oh. Yeah, I got 2 of the crits, so I guess that's a messy crit. Yeah.
Yep, it is a messy crit. So as you stride over and you close that last bit of distance, hoping to see whatever it is, maybe even we see Ava crouch down a bit to look closer to the ground, you do once again catch that light, ever so slightly, blink for a brief moment. And as you peer to where that light comes from, the clouds don't part like a magical crystal ball. They don't disperse and become translucent. Instead, it's sounds that you begin to pick up through that thick cloud. With the wit's awareness, they're distant, but you can still make it out with your kindred-like senses, your sharper hearing, your ability to hear things blocks away. And it sounds distant, but you swear you can hear the hustle and bustle of the lights out pub. Not all that far from where you stand.
Okay.
And as that realization comes into play and you turn, standing inches from you is that silhouette, Celia. And as she takes a single step forward, maybe you gasp to say something, you move to speak. As she reaches out, not in a violent or aggressive way, but almost as in a take my hand, you plummet through the clouds. And though it feels like you land, you don't truly land. back into the back seat of the vehicle with Dakota driving in the front seat. Having been Dakota probably like 10 seconds, you didn't notice the black veins like over dominate or anything crazy that caused you to have to feel like you had to pull over. It seemed pretty tame. And there's a moment it's easy to tell when she comes back a lot of the times, just because her eyes start to blink and maybe, Ava even looks like,
I'm probably counting. We probably have like, if you're not back after like 30 seconds,
danger. Yeah.
30 seconds. That's a long time.
You know what I mean? For her to be under. So it's like, I'm at like 10 Mississippi, 11 Mississippi.
And you see Ava kind of grab her head and start blinking frantically in the mirror.
It's you, right?
Yes, it's me.
Do you want to get in the front seat so I don't feel like a chauffeur?
This is kind of random and it's never come up, but is there a protocol that you guys have come up with after she comes out of a vision to make sure it's her? Is there like a way?
We don't have like a test or.
I didn't know if there's anything you could maybe think of if that's something your characters would do, but
secret question.
Actually,
there's some kind of subconscious thing where Ollie kind of watches the shadow to see if it's moving like that split second after, or if it's moving in tandem. Ollie's like,
Dakota and Ava
idea.
have a couple things. So I think, if we wanted to solidify that they do, Dakota would put her pinky up because they do the pinky swear thing to make, because only Ava would know that,
Yeah.
Perfect.
Ava climbs up into the front seat next to
We
Dakota.
actually see Ava climbing from the back seat to the front seat, and every so often in a rhythmic pattern, those dim orange lights of the streets outside. And we can see just outside, out of focus, pedestrians walking on the sidewalks. It's still early in the evening. You're not hitting a lot of traffic, but you do occasionally have to slow down and come to a slow roll as you hit those potholes and those roads that desperately need attention. And in that pothole, as you crack into one and you can hear the creaking of the car, that's when Ava plops down in the front seat, finally having climbed all the way up to the front.
Well,
did you see him?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
the last time I get to do this and I don't even get to see him. Damn.
Maybe ghostly Saito's moving on, Ava.
No, I doubt that, Dakota. It's just, I didn't see him, but I saw Celia.
Really?
Yeah. I need to find her. I think.
Well, I think right now we have a lot on our plates, and Celia's, in terms of priority, sandwich.
If I'm seeing her in my visions, I think she's a pretty high priority, Dakota.
What was she doing? Was she in trouble?
I think she is in trouble. She was reaching out. I think I need to help her. And I think she's not far from the Lights Out pub because I think I saw it in my vision. And if I can recall where she was in relation to the bar. So I think I'm going to be able to pinpoint where she is if I can just keep this image in my head.
So right now I need you to pinpoint the location where the Sabbat, the neighborhood. We're just gonna, let's come back around to Celia. What, was she actually in dire trouble, or was she just like reaching out her hand like, oh look, here's my friend?
I don't know, but it's been weeks since I've seen her. We know that she's part of this whole thing. She needs to get out of the city, and I need to help her get out of the city before more danger comes.
What if she already left?
She didn't leave. If I saw her in the vision close to the Lights Out pub, she has to be here. Or at least whatever's left of her is there, and I need to find it.
Whatever's left?
I don't know. I don't know what could have happened.
Me neither. You know what? We'll scoot right back around to the Lights Out pub and check on Celia's leftovers after you tell me where we're going.
I know. We had an agreement. I will help you. I will find the Sabbat, and then when we get back, I will try to find her.
As a reminder, you don't know exactly where they brought you, just the general town direction that you were brought in with your roles. There's not really a, they're here moment. However, you do bring them up to the area that they had you in, which you believe to be Oak Park, Austin Village area, if I'm remembering correctly.
Up here. Okay. I thought it was up here.
Yes,
okay, so it's down here.
I did write Austin Village.
Great,
yeah,
perfect.
up in Austin Village.
Okay,
yeah.
And you control Austin Village, but it's difficult, to really pinpoint who's kindred and who's not. Can
I make a roll?
Yeah.
Finally, I have a lore sheet for this, which is to identify kindred iconography on things like walls, markings, street signs. Actually, I think it's called Writings on the Wall. It's in the Chicago book.
Yeah, I know what you're talking. I remember that one. Yeah,
it has the dope lip graffiti.
Yeah, I was rebooting Roll20. All right,
that's okay. No worries. I don't even know if it's in Roll20. Let's find out. If not, I'm just gonna I'll have to go open the PDF.
Pull it up in the
because I'm not sure. Actually, well, let's find out if it's in here. Let me search it.
I do have it in my.
No, I don't think the Chicago book is. We have that one on Roll20. Let's see.
I think I can pull it.
Let's see if I put notes on my sheet that I had to redo. I did. You've learned to look for marks that other kindred have left behind. Gain 3 dice on relevant streetwise rolls when looking. Man, that's so hard to say. When looking for information on local domains or vampires available in graffiti, posted flyers, or other artwork in the area.
Excellent. Yeah. So you're just gonna roll me a wit streetwise plus 3d10 on top of that.
Okay, sick.
That's actually a nice bonus.
Yes, it is.
And you could also, I don't know how hungry your character is. You could also rouse.
I'm not.
Right.
Okay. I could rouse. I shall rouse.
You add 1d10 though, right? Not 2d10. No, everybody adds 2d10 now. Yeah. That's
so
right.
now
that's right.
add 5 to this roll.
Yep.
Which I want to know where the hell they are. Let me just bump that up for you. 8 successes.
Woo! Look at that. Holy shit.
Tell me where they are, Mathis.
8 successes is insane. How long so this would take you a few hours of driving around.
Yeah, we have to loop.
Do you park and
these.
walk around, or do you strictly stay in car and do loops? And both work? I'm just very curious
we'll cover
to
more
what kind of
ground
tactic
in the
take.
car.
Yeah.
But unless Dakota felt like she could get information out of like a group of people or a bunch of skateboarders or like street folk, she's not going to get out of the vehicle yet.
Okay, sounds good. Sorry, I'm looking something up real quick. I need to make sure I get this there. That's what I'm looking for right there. Okay. I'm gonna send you a picture because I can describe it. And I will, but I want to make sure like it's a bit I can.
Are you discording it?
No, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna. So what you see, it takes a while. You drive around for what I would say 2 to 3 hours of doing loops and looking at different street art and graffiti and tags that are on the wall, some on the telephone poles, on what's left of the occasional broken down and completely stripped phone booths that used to sit on the sidewalks. You look around and most of it is meaningless to you for your individual purposes. But you begin to see certain patterns in some. And some you easily write off as small gangs claiming territory. Others you might recognize as little kindred markings of feeding here, safe to spend the night here, little things for homeless kindred of thin bloods or those who may not actually like adhere to Camarilla. Again, things you are pretty familiar with. It's one that pulls you and just gives you pause, that leaves you puzzled, that you see looping before you start to realize this might mean something. And you can actually trace out a 4-block area that this seems to stay restricted in. It is quite simply a elegant sword with a rather simple hilt pointed downward. It is not piercing anything. No blood drips from it. But around the sword, up into the point where the hilt meets blade, looks to be twisting vines, but in a symmetric pattern on both sides. So it looks
almost
neat
like a
and orderly and
crest
like
in a way.
very kind of like a crest. But it sticks to a more of a sword-like shape. It doesn't blow out to like a shield size. And that's some of them are haphazard. You can simply see what looks to be like a cross, and then like a few things on the left and a few more on the right. And then there are others that have spent some time. And occasionally, with 8 successes, you actually could see one that's built into pre-made graffiti that doesn't that to you doesn't belong, but to anybody passing by would not be able to pay attention to it. It's caught in the bottom of one of these great portraits that has a simple, like a single tree burning, but the tree is still green. And in the bottom left, in the flames, you can actually just make out. You actually have to get out of the car. You park it at one point to see it, but you can just make out inside those flames. You can see somebody kind of put a sword in it and almost use the flames as the twisting vines and something along those lines.
Okay.
You see about 5 of them all told in a 4-block area within Austin Village. To you, that rings as important. There's a few ideas your character might have. Actually, with 8, let me get me a academics, like history or whatever it is, or like intelligence academics roll, because you've been dealing with school, with what's his face.
Oh yeah, I can also do a politics. It's technically the same role. It's just whichever.
Yeah, give me politics. Give me politics. They'll fit a little bit better.
Okay, I will rouse for this one too. I'm getting excited now that Dakota's like, oh, I found something. That doesn't happen often. Okay, well, I do get hungrier, but worth it. Yep. Intelligence politics, you said. 2 modifiers. Give me that. Oh, no successes.
Oh, bummer, dude.
Sad.
Okay,
I mean,
you know what? I'm empty on willpower, mine as well. Like, it's what's the worst that could happen with that.
So if you're empty at will,
none.
Wow, nothing. Other than it sticks out to you, and it definitely doesn't belong with a lot of the other things, indicating to you it might be kindred, it could be lupine, it could be something else. You have dealt with changelings, and they deal with the forest. You're not sure, but you're certain it's marking out that 4-area block. And with the knowledge that Tracy, Ava's given that the Sabbat out here, it might have something to do with them.
Okay, so first thing I'll do is I'll like pull over. I grab my little book from whatever pocket I'm carrying in her backpack, and I'll quick sketch the symbol so that I know it or can reference it again. And as we pass these corners, like where each one of these are, if it's like on the side of a pawn shop, I'll be like pawn shop.
Marking
street name, like list them instead of like marking them on a map. I don't need that kind of a trail. And then I will look for one of the symbols. So you said 4-block radius. Somewhere inside of the 4-block radius, I'll look for one of the symbols that's not like, I'm not going to go ruin somebody's beautiful art. That's not Dakota's vibe. I want like maybe the simplest one, or somebody came by and did a quick version of the sword.
Gotcha. You're trying to see this one on the inside, basically?
Yeah, on the interior of the perimeter.
Yeah. Maybe to your dismay, even with 8 successes, not because it's impossible to find, but because there is none. There are none on the inside. All of them are on outside buildings.
They mark the perimeter.
That would be more what you're thinking at this point, especially as you look around. You're starting to
then this is even more fun. Oh, do I go that far? I might push some buttons and start. Okay,
there's a lot of buildings, and they're all multi-story.
Yeah,
so it's not
when
easy.
Dakota realizes that there are none marking inside, she's not gonna press the button of going to put a mark inside the perimeter. But I will go to one on the. I will find one on the exterior next to one of theirs. And Dakota goes rummaging in the van. Like, I pull over. I'm like, oh my shit. I hand it all over to Ava. I rummage in the bag for a can of spray paint.
Are you showing Ava, and do you point this out to her?
Oh, yeah. I would show
Ava. You're welcome to make me an intelligence politics roll.
Might as well.
I can't do worse than I did.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody tell Cretius.
A decent dice pool here.
3 successes. Okay. Do you want to re-roll 2 of those, or do you want to stick with just the 3? What's your willpower at?
I would rather not. I will keep the 3. My willpower is. I got 3 left. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
With 3, unfortunately, I was looking for a little higher than that. So your character might not. While Tracy may understand what you're looking at, Ava does not necessarily recognize what she's looking at because she's never come across it before, and it's not something that's often brought up in your social circles for good reason. So yeah, you park, Dakota kind of throws the van over to the side of the road into park. She jumps out and she's like, hold my shit, and gives you everything. As she walks over to a few buildings behind that you drove by, she's shaking it up. And you can hear that. And what are you doing? On
the wall with all the other, usually like shit graffiti goes with shit graffiti, and then somebody will claim a wall and do something really beautiful, but you don't encroach on territory. So I pick one of the shit walls where everybody just does quick tags, and I will go and put the gangrel wolf head.
Yeah. Okay.
on the wall. It doesn't have to be great. It just has to be what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Do I notice anybody noticing us? Because we've been circling for a while.
I mean, you can make a wits awareness for sure. Absolutely. To see if anybody's like noticed you.
Keep the dice pool. Oh, I got 3 of 4.
Yeah. The only thing you notice that was noticing you is at some point, because you are kind of trucking around the same roads over and over for a few hours, there's a car that begins to follow you. And for a while, you actually, drive around, maybe try to lose it and whatnot, and keeping an eye on it before you realize it's an undercover cop car that's been trailing you for a while. Until whether you do whatever, either whether you pull over and you have Ava speak to the cop, or you just drive around until it either it goes away, or you leave the area and it goes away. That's the only thing that actually really follows you around for a while.
Okay, cool.
I imagine you're not trying to start shit with the cop.
Nothing to see here, officer.
Exactly.
Even in World of Darkness, we don't want to pick fights with the cops.
So you make sure the cop is not around when you.
Yeah, when I go to spray, I look. Yeah. I want somebody to see me. I don't want the cops to see me.
Absolutely, yeah. No cops are around. You tag it, and you don't notice anybody who notices you here, but that's not surprising.
I go,
you're not.
Ava.
Yeah.
I yell across the street. You want to go for a walk?
Dakota, it's been hours. Can we please go back?
I'll be right back.
I'm going with you.
Okay, I drop my board like I'm about to take off into the perimeter.
She's gonna. I assume you're like want to stalk it out and wait it out and see if anything happens.
I've been through on the car. Now I'm gonna go on foot.
Okay.
Because somebody's gonna know who I am.
Possibly.
Right.
So you wander and you go for walks. How long are you looking to walk around for?
I don't know. You said it's only 4 blocks, so I would probably skate up and zigzag up and down it, or at the pace that Ava can walk in stilettos.
You did pretty well. She's really, really, really good in stilettos at this point in her life.
Years of practice.
She's like very good at it.
Yeah, they don't hurt my feet.
You walk around for a while, and again, perhaps to your surprise, at least on this night anyway, no one approaches you. No one comes over to tell you what are you doing or get out of here, or why haven't you announced yourself to me? Nobody, in at least kindred or otherwise, seems to come to bother you.
It's just one night. Do I need to pee on the street corner, Ava? Like what?
I don't know. They find us. We don't find them. We should have just went through the normal means, doing the phone call thing that they told me to do. This is taking too long. I don't think we're going to find them.
Where's your sense of adventure?
Oh my gosh. Prowling the same 4 blocks. It's
called hunting your prey, Ava. It's exciting.
My idea of hunting is going to the rack and finding a cute guy to feed on.
That's not hunting. That's a buffet.
All right, fine. I will. Let's stake it out a bit more before we get.
And I'll just make the last and final loop back to the car.
And you get back, and again, nothing is there waiting for you. Nobody seems to have come to bother you.
Man, I say really loud. It sure is a good thing I wasn't looking forward to having a bag put over my head tonight.
I can feel Ava's eye roll through the screen.
2 cute girls lost all alone.
Oh no!
On the street.
Help us!
It's not working, Dakota. We need to go.
You kind of
it's because you look at you're a bird. Look at you. You look like a predator.
You hear through a couple buildings down from one of the windows about 3 stories up. Just a guy's voice. It's hard to pin his age.
God.
You need help down there? I'll be right there. You just stay right there. Hang on. Oh, you just and you hear some fumbling around. You hear the window shut.
Are you hungry, Ava?
Oh, look what you've done. Yeah, actually, I could eat.
Okay, well, I bet if you waited at that door right there, he'll come wobbling down in the next 2 minutes.
Whose territory even is this? Are we allowed to feed here? I don't even know.
Technically, anything
this
that's
is perfect,
not,
Ava. Do it.
Yeah, anything that's not claimed by a clan it technically belongs to the prince by right. So you're in technically prince's land, quote unquote. The prince's area, but the further out west you go, the more you lose it to lupine, and you lose a lot of the Camarilla protections.
All right,
which is you're out in the area where a lot of the Camarilla protections are not around.
I don't buy that you're a damsel in distress. Maybe some tears, Ava.
All right.
As you get ready, the front door, you hear the front door of this building open, and then the metal door, the storm door that's on outside of that, that clack as it swings open, and you can clearly tell that the hydraulic little stopper of the door has been long broken as you hear it slam open and then immediately swing and slam shut behind him. And as you look, you see this hefty looking guy who's maybe 5'5" with that completely shaved bald head and a goatee cleanly trimmed. However, he's wearing a Nirvana shirt that's kind of stained on the left-hand side in cargo shorts. And you see him shoving something into his back pocket, but you're not quite sure. You didn't see what it was. And as he starts waddling and huffing his way over, he do you guys is this something Ava's like?
I nudge Ava forward, a little bit. It's like, oh, help us. Go, Ava, do the thing.
I'm sorry, sir. Our car broke down and we're stuck.
And it's
that's
do you give this guy a chance to say anything as he gets close, or do you actually go and bite it? Like, who's feeding off of him?
I'm not. I'm watching Ava hunt.
And are you feeding just on the sidewalk in the open?
No. I would take him back to our car.
Yeah, into the car. You bring him over to the car. So just give me your plan. What's your plan to do with this guy?
I'll be like, our car broke down. Can you help take a look at it? I'll bring him into the car and I'll feed off of him. Yeah.
As he makes his way over, and he's just very agreeable. Whatever it is, what you're just like, oh, our car, it needs help. You're near the car itself. He makes his way over to the front of the car. And as you see in what he shoved in his back pocket, you see a giant like those big fancy vapes that people can buy. And at the very tippy top, it's a golden skull with a glittering kind of like sparkle over it. Wow. And as he leans over, it actually slips down from the crack of his pants through his leg and onto the ground. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And he turns over and he goes to bend over and grab it.
Really,
and as he scoops it up, and he looks into a car. Can I get just a wits insight from both of you?
Wits insight.
Okay. I got a 6 messy critical.
God. Let's see what Ava rolls first.
Where the fuck is
It's under the center column.
Oh, why did I think it was mental? Okay, what's an insight? Okay.
My God, both of you, but especially Dakota, before even a word escapes this man's mouth. As he picks up the vape and he leans back over and he puts both of his doughy little hands on the front of the hood and he leans into the car itself. From the moment he leans in, Dakota, you realize this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's looking at. He has no words immediately. He starts going, Well, I think we're going to need to go to my apartment and I'm going to have to call my friend. But if you guys want to come upstairs, I'll give you something to drink and it'll be great. And he leans over and he's like, yeah, that hose right there is really loose. And you notice as well, Ava, as he's talking, he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
I don't know anything about tools, but since this is my boyfriend's van, and there's a bag of tools in the back, maybe you could find a tool.
I mean, would you go back there because there are girls asking him to do things?
Would you like to see? Come, Ava, show him the tool bag.
Yes, I'll show him the tool bag.
You open up the trunk to the car from the back, and obviously no tool bag there. At this point, do you just shove him in the back of the car?
I basically boot him in the ass as he bends over to look in the tool bag. Toss him in. I'm like,
Does Ava just get on top and just immediately start?
And then I gingerly close the doors to the van and look for the cops.
So as we walk around the back, we see the thing opens. He leans in, and before even it gets to say a word that there's no bag back there, you just see the heavy boot of Dakota hit his ass, and there's a cushion there for a minute, but you send him in tumbling.
There goes his vape again.
And as he bumps in, I was gonna say, as he bumps into the car, the vape topples off and falls onto the concrete. But he doesn't have a chance to do anything as Ava immediately jumps on top of this guy. For a moment, he's like, this is his dream. And then as you lean in and you bite him, it is his dream. Holy shit, because it feels amazing. But before you even get to see that part, Dakota's already closes the door And Ava feeds. Ava, how much are you feeding off this guy?
Just one. Just one.
Just one. He's gonna feel really drunk. He'll be really like out of it, but he's not gonna be unconscious or anything.
When the van stops shaking, I will open the doors. I'm like, "Are you done?
We're finished here.
There's no mess." Okay. I see he's still waiting.
He was like, oh.
I pull him up by the scruff of his shirt and I snatch his vape up and I'm like, we would really like that drink. Would you want to come drink upstairs?
He's so
he can barely. He's like,
great. And I'm going to like walk him back across the street out front of his own apartment, kind of set him in the alleyway with his vape in his hand, like maybe he fell asleep out here, and just leave him.
Yeah. You or she and Ava licked the wounds closed, obviously.
Yep.
And as he's there and he's holding his vape, you're just like, and his eyes kind of like close.
Oh, that was so good for him, wasn't it? Ava says to Dakota.
Well, you made his night.
Yeah, I usually do.
How? What? No, don't answer that question. Are you ready to go back to Lights Out Pub so you can?
Yeah, can we go back now? This isn't working.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's not working. You found an area, a specified area.
Actually, why don't you go back to the Lights Out Pub?
You're going to stay here? What if the Sabbat kidnap you? You'll be fine. I'm not concerned.
I will. At this point, I'm begging them to.
I will go ahead and say, Dakota, you'll end up waiting for a while. Nothing's going to happen.
As I said, but I have, I have other things to do, errands to run. We're really close by, the Berwyn area.
Yeah.
And yes.
Well, since they kind of took something from me, I haven't really, done a as the bird flies by kind of thing.
I see. All right. You go ahead and do that then. I'll head back.
You're not going to stop me?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
You didn't stop me from doing a premonition, so I suppose I owe you this.
But you still owe us that page.
Yes, we will bring the page to the Tremere tomorrow night.
Okay. And if Ollie asks, I did not fly over Lupine territory.
Nope.
Great.
You were staking out Sabbat, as far as I know. So.
Yep.
I will drive the car back.
All right. Cool. Dakota will just
go ahead and make me your rouse check to shapeshift. We'll get that out of there. And what are you looking for over Berwyn specifically? Are you trying to see if you see Hannah?
I was actually wondering if I couldn't see Hannah. I want to keep a high enough altitude where I'm not necessarily spotted right away.
Sure.
But I would like to, do I catch a whiff of her? Do I see her? Do I see other lupine? I don't know. I've never flown over Berwyn Park before, much less walked into it. So I don't know what I'm looking for, but I'm going to find it.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and give me, so make your rouse. You already did rouse check. Sorry. Then you're just going to wits awareness me. Under your new hawk stats.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I think this is how I do this. Wits is a mental strength, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. As is.
Okay, that was
a lot of dice for sure.
That's a lot of dice.
Yeah, I'm a bird.
You're out
literally.
of willpower, though, right?
I am not out of willpower. I have plenty of. I have a different kind of willpower pool in bird form.
Oh, dope! That's sick. Do you want to spend one and reroll 3 of those? Because 3 is good.
Yeah, because this is what
hard,
I'm here
but it's not
for.
very hard.
I might as well.
You might as well use your.
I got
your
one
bird
more,
pool.
so 4, and that's
okay,
the one willpower I get in bird form.
So 4 is a hard difficulty beat. We'll come back to you in a minute then, Dakota. As you hit as Ava drives away, the last question I have for you as you separate, does Ava still have the piece of paper? Did she not give that to Dakota?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to check and I wanted to make sure I'm not crazy and that didn't get handed over. Ava drives away, and while our vision pans away from Dakota as she walks away into an alley, we still catch a bird flying up and over just out of our vision. A few moments later, we can even hear the bone crunching and skin tearing from a muted distance as it happens in that brief 3 seconds. But as that bird flaps a couple of huge wing flaps and takes off toward the south, toward Berwyn, our vision blurs across the city, following Ava's car in a fast forward style motion until she arrives back at the Lights Out pub, where Ollie would have made his way back by now. So Ollie, you're probably only been back a little bit yourself as well. Heading down there takes a while. The conversation took some time, and I'm sure there was other things you spoke about that were not pertinent to like anything other than just casual kindred camaraderie until you eventually arrived. And so we'll say you got back maybe 30 minutes ago when the back door opens and Ava, and only Ava, walks through. Do you walk in and give him that like smile like that?
Yeah.
You know, did Ollie know where they were going? I forget. No,
I don't think so, actually.
No. You're muted, Bub. You're muted.
No, not a clue. Ollie is somewhere between probably perplexed thought and happy for the noise, the new noise. So when he sees you walk in, it's like a double take motion, and he kind of comes to, oh, hey, how's the night going?
It honestly was pretty boring. Dakota and I
want to go ahead and make a lie roll first for that?
No, he's not
manipulation.
No,
not pry. But
honestly, it was boring.
Give me a manipulation.
Because we were just sitting in a car looking.
Are you trying to
Sabbat.
convince me that you didn't? That you're?
I think
you
Trace
had a
might be
boring
trying to
night?
convince herself.
Yeah. Manipulation subterfuge, first of all, is going to be a huge dice pool for you anyway, and it's just to pick up the subtle cues that she might not be telling the whole truth. And then, Bub, you may make me a wits insight.
Okay. I mean, I can try.
And you literally bargained like your life away to have one more premonition.
This is a good pool. I've been investing in this pool. So
yeah, and also
yeah, my dice pool actually isn't bad.
I got 4 successes.
You win by 1. Her words, as always, ring as true as anything she says. Whether you can trust what a Toreador says or not is entirely up to the Toreador and the person that they're talking to. But it's the little things, how quickly she seems to try and maybe brush by it without really paying much attention to. When even on the most boring nights, she loves to talk about whatever else she's done that night. It's her brevity of the hours that have gone by that peak or maybe tinge something off in Ollie. But continue, Ava, speak away. You said it was boring.
It was boring. Dakota and I went up to Austin Village, tried to scout out Sabbat. Couldn't really find anything. Dakota wanted to stay a bit longer, so I got bored and came back. That was about it.
Nice. Seems easy.
Yeah. Dakota wants to find the gangrel and invite them to her gather. So not making any deals with Sabbat here in case you're getting any ideas. Just saying.
Y'all are big girls. You don't need me having to dip in and try to make some decisions. You're going to do what you want to do, right? So it doesn't matter how I feel about it.
How was the night with Snitch? Is he as...
honestly, it was pretty boring.
Okay.
Nothing happened.
So a boring night.
He's not being subtle. You know he's doing that to mock you.
Yeah. So, I'm not surprised, as Snitch is not always full of excitement. So
Snitch agreed to sire.
Is Grant here? Or did he go home?
I don't actually remember.
Okay. Let's just say he's probably not around for you saying this part.
Yeah.
I'm sure you won't say this
not.
in front of him.
He's got me doing some things for him, but he agreed that if it were to go down that route, that he would do it for me. But then I would be acting father. Classic Mala.
Like a Mala. Okay. That makes sense. I'm glad that he at least said yes. So we at least have one potential sire.
It's never super easy, right? It's never so cut and dry. But at the end of the day, it comes down to 2 people making a decision. We have to hear what Grant has to say. And then it doesn't even really matter what Grant has to say. Because then it matters what the prince has to say.
Yes, she might still not be... She has a soft spot for Snitch, so...
She does, yes.
She might not agree to it. So yes, perhaps we should come with options. So if she says no to the first one, we have another option.
Really hoping that Dakota comes back and she's got options. Because I don't see another I really don't think that she's going to say yes to any other Nosferatu.
I think you're right. And, honestly, it still doesn't sit right with me that if Snitch sires Grant, he's going to have a higher, his blood's going to be thicker than ours. It doesn't sit right with me. I think we need to find somebody who's like the same, got the same age as us.
I mean, you realize that despite all of that, we're going to be older than him.
I know, but he's closer to our progeny or originals,
Yeah,
and
but
I don't like
how
that.
long have we been kindred?
20 years or so.
All right. Say he gets turned tomorrow. We found out the first 5-10 years is like the hardest years to survive. Just because we gave him a foot in the door doesn't mean he's going to not get kicked out, right?
It's true.
Grant's got a real problem putting his own foot in his mouth. And as much as I'd love to see him survive, this is me trying to give him a little something extra to keep his ass in the game. So it's up to him at that point.
True.
Yeah. I don't really know what to make of it though. It's a weird it's gonna be a weird balance. Yeah, you're right. The whole blood thing, it is what it is.
I don't like it.
I don't care for it, but it's not gonna prevent me from sleeping during the day,
It might be an ego thing. I just, but
I get it. Well, I mean, that makes sense, right? You're gorgeous. People worship the ground that you walk on. And then, try walking a mile in my shoes. Okay, well, before I put on the suit, right? Or even Dakota, right? She's walked miles in shit as well.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, kid, you had it hard. But man, what a clan to be a part of.
Yeah.
It's very dog eat dog, but whew. Y'all are just like the Venture. You're kind of like rulers of this place. You're just too damn pretty.
Yeah, it is hard.
What was that song he said? It was terminally pretty. That Eagles song, right? That's the problem. Your roses are you're terminally pretty. It's gonna get you killed.
And it has. But
how long is Dakota gonna be out, by the way?
I don't know.
Imagine, Dakota, you're gonna return before sunrise, with I'm assuming an hour left or so.
I imagine that depends on what I see.
Well, perhaps when they pose that question, then I'll take that opportunity as storyteller to quickly cut ourselves over to Berwyn, where you've been flying around at this point from the drive on about an hour or so. And over that hour or so, closer toward the end, you actually do catch sight of Hannah for a brief moment closer to the center of Berwyn, coming out of an apartment building alongside a single other gentleman who you place in maybe his early 20s. He's got long brown hair that's much thicker and fuller than mine, completely clean shaven, and he wears a jean jacket but no shirt underneath, and then just khaki pants. He guides her over to, and as soon as he guides her over, they both walk over. It's not like he's holding her hand or he's got her. He doesn't look like he's moving her in a direction. Okay. They're both equally. They're walking over to a plain white pickup truck where he opens the door for her and she hops in, and he walks over to the driver's side seat, hops into the driver's side seat.
Can I note the license plate on that?
Yes, you can. I would say, because you're a bird and you can trail it, I'm not going to make you roll to memorize it. You just will remember the license plate. So feel free to make note of that. And as you maybe follow for a couple of blocks and you realize it's still, there's a bit of Berwyn still left for it to drive through. Is that when you peel off and you
are they headed where do they
they're headed it looks like they're headed south. It looks like they're heading south.
Okay.
Outside of Berwyn, the closest thing is Stickney, and then after that, Forest View.
Right.
And then you lose any quote unquote eminent domain of the prince.
The fact I got to see her alive, I think, is enough for Dakota. And then the guilt hits Dakota, and that she has not spoken to
Edith.
Edith about. Is it Edith? Yeah, it's Edith. About.
No, is it Edith?
No, it's not.
Edith
hang on. I just got to go to my. It is
Eleanor.
Eleanor, thank you. I knew it was another E name. I have not told her what happened to Hannah.
Mm-hmm. You haven't visited her, and she doesn't know where you live, so she's not been able to find you, really. There's no way to really communicate or contact you.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I will end my night with a quick flyby to her house. I guess I have to take responsibility for that.
Yeah, do you fly to her house or do you go to the library she works?
If this is her shift, or I think she'd still be there. I just don't know what time of night. If it's like 2 a.m., I imagine she's not there. If it's before midnight, she might be,
Yeah, if it's 2 a.m., she'll be at home sleeping for sure. If you want to, you can definitely go to her house and wake her up, or you could visit her the next night earlier, go to the library.
Yeah, I'm not going to wake her. She's sleeping. Okay.
Yeah, she's a human. She got to sleep.
Yeah, that's true. You know what?
You make your way back to Lights Out.
Yeah, I'll go back to Lights Out, yep.
Maybe even comedically timed as you're like, well, when's Dakota getting back? 5 minutes after that's said, Dakota comes in. You can hear the skateboard clatter outside before the door swings open, and in walks Dakota, safe and sound.
Oh, speak of the gangrel.
Yeah. How was the trip out?
It was a breath of fresh air.
It sounds like we've had some pretty boring nights.
Yeah, so boring. It was so boring. Nothing happened. We definitely didn't go to Sabbat territory, nor did I tag their wall, nor did Ava have a vision in the back of the van, nor did Ava agree to give us pages from the book for said vision.
Yes, I heard about your little Tremere thing, Ollie.
Okay.
All of a sudden, now Ava's like, hang on a second.
Okay, all right. Before you panic about the bus, all right?
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're okay with it. Really, I'm glad. I don't want to result into dirty tricks.
Yes.
I don't.
I just told her we'd take it.
Yeah.
But reluctantly, I'm agreeing.
I don't want to say we totally could, but you might be able to stop me, but could you stop her at the same time? You'd have to stop one of us. And that book is such a problem for you. I'm not going to hold an intervention, but the same shit happened to me some years back.
Did you follow in the footsteps of your beloved Outback?
Follow in the footsteps of my
your friggin' vision.
No, not yet. I'm going to be heading out in a bit to find Celia because she was in my vision and I saw her here and I saw the Lights Out pub here. Yep. So before I forget what happened, if I can just remember exactly the coordinates of where I saw her, I might be able to find her.
Yep, she's going to go find Celia, Ollie.
All right, well, I mean, good. If you're having visions of her, then that makes it a little easy to find her, right?
Why would you say that? No.
Apparently. Yes.
I can't stop her, Dakota, right? I can't stop you guys from doing anything. I can't stop you from...
that's not necessarily true. You just don't want to.
You're right. I don't want to be physical or upset. I already got a lot more of that other shit going on. I don't want to have to feel that way with my family. You know what I mean?
Ava, can I ask you a question? A personal question?
What? What's your personal question?
When you wake up every day, how do you prioritize the social endeavors of your life?
Oh, this is interesting. I'm here for this.
I wake up each night and I take at least an hour to get ready. Mm-hmm. I check if there are any Toreador social gatherings happening and if they are of interest of me. And if not, most of the nights I head here to the Lights Out pub to meet the two of you. So that's the priority of my social endeavors, meeting my coterie every night. And then if we don't have anything going on, I will head to an event. Or I'll head to the Painted Lady.
Mm-hmm. So where does Celia fall in all of that prioritization?
Well, she was a high priority for me when I had her because you know who entrusted me with her? Nero. And I let him down. And
Who the fuck is Nero?
Nero
That's
is one of the guys I'm seeing.
He's the old Toreador that's obsessed with music, kind of.
Oh no, you had responsibility from yet another Toreador.
He shared a vision with you, the only person to have ever shared a vision with you?
We don't know that.
No, Ava.
Nero and I have a weird connection because he keeps hearing music. He keeps hearing the same music that I hear, Moonlight Sonata.
I like it.
He hears it in his I don't know. I don't think he dreams because we don't dream, but he hears that music. I hear that music. We're strangely connected, but he doesn't know what's going on in the
Did you
city.
tell Nero about us and how we also heard Moonlight Sonata for the last 2-3 decades when we trollop through Chicago and pass through some weird place? Like, we've been here. We heard that shit too. Does that mean that we're connected?
I told him about some of it, and he looked at me like I had a third eye, like a salubri or something. He didn't. He did not believe me.
But he's totally chill, having dreams when vampires don't dream.
Yes, I don't know. He's
got to be old, right? He's got to be old.
So to make sure I understand, you prioritize Celia because Nero gifted her to you?
Well, Nero gave her to me, and then I felt a connection with her when I met her. She is a La Sombra. She's hearing voices, and she's obviously connected to this in many ways. And
hearing voices coming from where specifically, Ava? Do you mention that, or do you keep that to yourself?
Hearing voices from the
coming
shadows?
From her shadow, specifically her own shadow.
So I would explain that, yes.
Okay. Just didn't know if you could keep that. Yeah. It's an important detail.
She's Sybil's blood.
Yes.
Okay. Could it be that the connection that you feel is because Sybil's riding you like a backpack?
Maybe, but
like a really damp turtleneck.
Look, actually, let me pose something to you. Ollie likes to protect young kindred, or young people. He has a code. He doesn't want to hurt children. Same for you, Dakota. You both don't want to hurt children. You have a code, something that you live by, okay? That you feel connected for whatever reason. And I feel that way for Celia. She is a young, freshly turned by who God knows who. She doesn't even know who turned her. A La Sombra. The poor girl didn't even know how to feed properly and killed somebody on accident. She doesn't know where she is or what's going on, and she's been brought into this. And I felt compelled to help her. I felt compelled to just do something for somebody other than myself for once. Okay?
That is a good answer.
Yes, Ollie.
First and foremost, I got to say it's really big of you. I'm glad that you look beyond yourself. I promise it's not a slight or a put down. That must have been very hard.
Yes. Honestly, yes. I don't care about a lot of people. I don't care about a lot of kindred. But there are 2 kindred children that I care about, and I want to protect them.
Secondly, there is a distinct difference between what you did versus what Dakota and I have done. The kids that we help, the people that we help, they're crying for help. I met Celia. She's an asshole.
Because she was raised in a spoiled rich family. And so she doesn't know any better. But she also just like us, wasn't asked to be in this. She's totally lost, and she has nobody. Nero found her and cared enough to help her. And because she also was having these visions and the talking and the shadow, I offered to help as well. And now she's lost. I don't know where she went. And I just want to help her. I want to get her out of here. I don't want her to be part of Sybil's machinations. I want to protect her.
You can't even protect yourself from Sybil.
Yeah, and I wish you would have brought that energy for like some of the other kindred that went missing that needed help. Like, remember Needles? Needles was gone for months, and where was your bleeding heart for that? Was it because he was a Nos? I really hope it wasn't because he was a Nos.
No, it wasn't that.
I mean, I don't find it weird to want to help people. Do you, Dakota? Do you find it weird to want to help people, especially those that are bereft of the ability to take care of themselves? We were fucking far flung into this. We didn't get choices or options, so my heart is with you on that, right? Celia needs some help, but Celia's got to drop the fucking attitude. That's going to get her killed long before our help.
Or the fact that she's La Sombra blood. Ava, I'm going to be really honest with you. A couple nights ago, I got a little rowdy at the gather. And I may have made bold statements about
hunting the Lasombra in the city. And the gay girl took it super duper serious. So, since I'm a good friend, I'm gonna let you go look for Celia, because the fact of the matter is, she's kind of top of the list right now.
So you are going to allow your fellow kindred to bring final death to a girl who had no choice in this matter, was brought into this, and yeah, she has an attitude, but she is lost. And you're just going to let that happen. You're going to let them bring final death.
I'm going to hope she stays lost so they don't have to kill her.
It's also not a matter of letting at some point, right? Like, we can punch up all day long, but what do we do if Cretius decides that she has no value in this place? I can't, the three of us, our powers combined cannot fuck with Cretius. All right?
I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah, you can fuck with some of his emotional stability, but if he pops off, we're in trouble. And we all know that there's some old blood in the city. We've heard the machinations, we heard the whispers. I don't know them all. I'm not also going to bark up their trees and try to find them. I don't want to be on all their radars.
Hey, Ava, if you really want to save Celia, you'll figure out a way to stop Sybil.
Preach.
Yes, I want to stop Sybil, and we're figuring out a way to stop her. But that doesn't change the fact that the Lasombra are part of her plan. Clearly, I've seen it in the visions. She wants all of the Lasombra. So if we get Celia as far out of the city as possible, across the ocean, okay, out of here. Nelson wants out. He can take her out. The two of them go.
I just gave Nelson a job.
You can't fucking leave this place. I spent years trying to get my son out of this hellhole. I poured every resource and asset that I could into that, and I couldn't do it. He was my blood. And he just wound up back here. We're circling a drain. You can try all you might, but there has to be a point where you stop circling the drain and realize that there's only so much effort you can pour into it before you got to start swimming against the current.
I cannot stop the gang from doing what they're going to do, but I'm also not going to stop you from attempting to warn Celia of her impending doom.
Also, can we highlight real quick that the Lasombra have a fucking get out of jail free card? That all of them are just like, boop, 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 spooky dook, we're in the shadows and we're gone? Chicago's practically a city of shadows at this point. They run so fucking fast. I can leap buildings, but I can't catch a bitch through the shadows. I'm not that good.
We have fought them before. It's not that great. Once you get your hands on them, they're, little weaklings. It's fine.
So that's it. You just want... What's the goal of this? You two want me to give up on Celia.
My goal is to destabilize Sybil to the point that no matter how she spins her plan, she will fail.
And my goal is to help the people that want to be helped, that are willing to make themselves available. I can't go out and hunt people all night long that want helped, but they're playing hide and seek in this fucking city.
Plus, the Lasombra have a chance right now to turn around and stand up to Sybil. They are either on our side or they are not. And not a single one has poked their head up to say they're on our side. Including Celia.
She doesn't know any better.
Also,
she doesn't know anything about this war.
We just need to be super careful. Like, we're talking about finding Celia, but you have met a strong-winged faction of anti-Camarilla Sabbat. That they have intentions of doing something fucked up. And, well, I mean, their rapport isn't exactly strong in Chicago, right? Their history is not actually super clear to me. I wasn't invited to the Sabbat Club. I have no idea what's going to happen with that. But I don't think it's going to be a stabilized party where everybody comes to the table and they speak their minds about things. Let alone the fucking werewolves. The werewolves.
They're fine. I checked on them tonight.
For now.
They're fine. Hannah's fine.
I hope that's right.
Fine.
But at some point, Jackson, is going to pull the lever, and we're going to have to act. Because there's still things happening in the city, whether or not we act and try to find Celia or not.
It's gonna be soon.
Like I said, I'm not going to stop you. Yeah, Sybil keeps saying that. She says a lot of fucking things, doesn't she?
What did you say? I missed what you said.
I said Sybil warned me it's gonna be soon.
Oh, gotcha.
Which means we really need to be in our A game, and unless Celia is going to show up guns blazing to help us, I'm just...
All right. You know what? You two win. I'll give the page to the Tremere. They can figure out what they want. I won't pursue Celia. I will sit here with my little shadow and wait for the next move.
It's just out back. I mean, not stopping you from tracking her. I'm just saying that, maybe she's already safe.
Yeah, go. If I'm not stopping you, right? I mean, if you want to go out there and beat feet and try to find her, then girl, go hard. You know what I mean? Go for it.
I'm going to.
Where the fuck is Emmy?
I don't know.
I thought Emmy was coming back here.
I thought she was too. It's been like a couple nights, right? Did she just do that? She just disappears? She just...
She's a...
Child. She's a child.
Older than us.
Child.
So she probably has her own things that she has to deal with. I don't know.
I mean, it'll show up eventually, right? I mean, she was gone for...
When she wants to be seen, she'll be
50
seen.
years.
Yeah. That's how she is. She'll come with her little games for us to play the next time she wants us to meet.
Yeah.
Well, since Ava has so willingly offered Saito's book tomorrow night...
A page
of Saito's book, we could, swing back by... Or you could. They like you a lot more than they like me, Ollie.
Yeah. So, before you head out...
Well, I thought we should maybe tell Ava the whole plan regarding the exchange. We're bringing something to the table, and so are they. I might have been vague about that.
What else are they? What are they getting out of this?
Well, they want Saito's stuff.
They want his stuff.
They want his stuff.
And we're getting in return, Ollie?
We're getting help. We're getting help with your favorite. It's blood magic.
In what way?
You want the long and short of it?
Just tell me.
Okay. Well, I used to have a buddy that was at the Chantry, and he used to tell me about how the Tremere could do things to their blood. They can make their blood like acidic, like corrosive. I asked them if they could make that happen to someone outside of the Tremere. Well, particularly I asked Sun Chi, and she's not entirely sure, but she said that she would do some research, and she would only do that research if I started bringing back proof of Saito's things, because his things are apparently, they belong to the Chantry. They're pretty close to the chest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They agreed. She agreed. She probably would not get approval from the Chantry for this, but she agreed that she would look to try to find a way to make another kindred's blood acidic so that those that feed from them would be weakened or harmed by them feeding on them.
That's blood are you trying to make acidic?
Yours. So that if Sybil succeeds in part of her plan and she goes to eat you, she's hurt. It's a backup to our backup to our backup. I don't want to see her eat you.
No.
Hell, Dakota doesn't want to see her eat you.
Nasty business.
Push come to shove. If it happens, we still have to act.
No, you're right. We do still have to act.
How do you feel about that?
I know what I signed up for. So if I It's a good plan, I guess.
No, be honest. Be real with me. I can take it all back.
No, it's fine. Ollie, you know I have a death wish anyway.
Why do we gotta say that?
Yeah, I don't think that's 100% accurate. If you're gone, who else the fuck is gonna belay banana hammock constantly?
No, you're
when I
right.
see him?
It's gonna be rough for you guys.
I'm gonna have to put him off on Ollie because I ain't touching him.
I will punch that guy in the dick so hard.
Me too.
It's gonna be rough. Without
It could be
the sassiest Rose in Chicago.
So
Yeah.
maybe we don't have
Could
to
be.
lose that Rose, especially if she feeds from you and it weakens her from the
What
inside
happens
out.
if my blood is corrosive? And do I also, like, is it a temporary thing? Did they explain what happens to me?
honestly, she said that she doesn't know all the details.
This
That
is
the only way that
research.
she's gonna go out of her way to look this up is if I at least prove that I'm not totally full of shit and that Saito's belongings actually do exist. That's why I came back with those bodies. You remember those bodies? The bodies that I chucked? Well, that you chucked into the freezer, the whites.
Yes.
That was my door knock, my cold call. I found her. I went with the bodies. She said, thanks. You got 5 minutes.
She has a nice library, though. Fully underused. Dust all over the shelves. Disappointment, really. And she wore a sundress. It's like 30 degrees outside.
Yeah, that's borderline masquerade breaching.
So,
to wear
right?
a dress in
So
this weather.
I was thinking you and Ollie could go knock again because I don't, like I said, think she liked me very much. And deliver the book to start the conversation.
I'm not ready to give up the book yet.
Or the
I will
page.
give up
the
a
book.
page.
The page.
I'm
I
not
don't want
ready.
the book. If we show up with the book,
We
she
give
will
them
make a
all of our
move.
cards.
She'll make a move. But also, you need a place. You need a place where you can move it. Because there's a strong chance, based off of what I'm aware of from the Witch of the Yards, they'll figure out where it's at. You
They
got to
can
move
take
the book
it
around.
over my dusted corpse if they really want to.
That is not out of the cards for them.
I'd like to see them try.
I mean, the safest place for books in all of Chicago is my boat. We all know that.
From even Tremere?
Are you going to step on my boat with those two dogs greeting you?
No. Fine. Maybe you just go, Ollie, because
No, she needs to look you in the eye, and you deserve to hear from her what the real possibility here is before you hand over something that clearly means a lot to you, Ava.
just don't want them to put some bloodstone tracker on me or something, and they find me. And
They shouldn't. You're not giving them your blood. And if you don't feel, I personally think it's a great idea to throw it on the boat. If you feel like you need something that could even be scarier to the average Joe, you can tuck it in with the cats.
And that's just across the street.
Yeah. And I regularly give them my blood. So they got a little something extra running through them.
the Tremere? Or no, for a second I thought you meant the Tremere. The cats.
No.
I was like, what?
The Tremere have my blood.
No, I'd be long gone if we were feeding Tremere. Oh my god.
No, I gave the Tremere my blood years ago. I did it because I needed to know what was the deal with my son, with me, why. Remember when all that shit came down? I needed to know.
Yeah.
I got information at best. I didn't get any kind of for sure. But hey, it's in the family at this point. It doesn't matter. So I just want a page. I'll go alone. Doesn't matter. We can go all three of us. I don't care. But I'd like that page now. You can choose which page, so long as it has proof that there's imagery of spells or voodoo, whatever, what kind of witchcraft and wizardry is in it. Your choice.
You can take the page I just had a premonition in since, well, I got what I needed from this page, I guess. It has stuff on it. Maybe they'll find use from it.
whatever she tears out, I'll fold up and I will tuck onto my person.
Makes sense. You're looking at the page, you wouldn't know if it means shit or not. It's a bunch of words and some symbols, and it's hard to tell.
Ollie's not exactly bright anyway when it comes to the academics, so he doesn't care.
Tucks it into his pocket.
Well, this has been a fun conversation. Before the sun comes up, I'm going to go hit the gather because I need to talk to Rika about, the grant.
You also, I need at least 2 names. Come with 2 names at least. We gotta give the prince options. Because Snitch said yes, he would do it.
Just throwing this out there, Dakota. If you do meet with the Sabbat, maybe you could diablerize one of them, go up a generation, and then you can be Grant's sire.
I'm not going to eat one of my own clan. It just so happens the gangrel might be in our current situation because, the leader got a little hungry and started eating vampires. So, that being said,
I'm just saying,
if a Sabbat happens to walk across my front yard and they're not a gangrel, well, that's their mistake.
Make your blood a little thicker. Take care of the Grant problem. So we don't have to have, this whole thing with somebody else being Grant's sire. I think it would be better if one of us did it, but I understand.
Look,
it's hard.
If Rika does it, he'll end up much like me. Ollie can still, daddy him, and then he just has to show up and be a gangrel when the rest of the gangrels show up. That's it.
That's true.
Kip Moon as well. And if it makes him feel any better, tell him he's always got free drinks here on me.
I don't know. Do I know how old Moon is?
No, you don't really know how old he is. He's older than you, but
he's definitely older than me. Okay, well,
he's not ancient or anything.
I just want to step to the table with some options because if she ends up favor, you know her history with Snitch. She's going to lean to Snitch is my theory. If you step with a stronger relationship from another gangrel that has just as much promise, there's a strong chance that she'll lean into that.
I don't need a strong gangrel. Bella owes me, and she knows that. Last time I saw her, she was all apologies and oh, woe is me. I used you as a rebound. I shouldn't have done that.
Okay. I hear you. But that doesn't mean that she's going to give you this. We can hope for the best, but let's plan for the worst, right?
What, you don't want it to be Snitch?
I would be okay with it being Snitch, but I'd be okay with it being a gangrel as well.
Then it's a win-win situation. Does it really matter who turns Grant, as long as it's one or the other?
Well, I mean, not according to her. She really has a problem with Grant potentially being older than us.
It just doesn't sit right with me. I want somebody, I don't like the idea of him being, thicker in the blood, closer to Cain, that whole thing. He's young. He shouldn't, he doesn't, he's younger than us. He's the
Oh my
newbie.
God. Would that, if he was of an older generation, would that make you want him more?
Oh, no.
I do like the older blood.
I'm
yes.
going to talk to Rika before it's too fucking
Both
late.
Saito and Nero are older
Oh my
generation.
God. He
And
would
then-
lose his mind.
Then I will go speak with Bella.
Okay, go ahead. You know what? Go ahead. But hopefully it'll be a 12th generation.
Oh my God, I'm leaving. I grab my skateboard and I kind of hit the back alley, and I'll go catch the last of the gather tonight before the sun rises to see if Rika is there or Moon, since this conversation does have to be had.
How much time is left in the night do we have?
Not much, not a ton.
Okay. Then Ollie'll just probably prep for tomorrow, like pre-make patties, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
just have a real low-key night.
Yeah. I think this is a good place for us to fade to black. And we can go to our break. And we'll do a break now.
All right.
We can pick up with the next plot points in the next night in about 10 minutes or so.
All right, gang,
Sound
we'll be
good?
back. Let's take a break. I gotta go blow my nose because I'm a sickly dot, and we'll be back.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed your a little bit of a break. We're back for the final half here of episode 28. And all of our kindred are going in their separate directions. There's not much of this individual night left for everybody to do much, but Ava has a particular goal in mind, and if she's right, and if she can find the right area, then it shouldn't even be all that far as to where she believed she thought she saw, or she believes that maybe Celia is being kept. Regardless, you wander off. Then you head, as you step out of the front door of the Lights Out pub, you take a right, and you begin walking. Mm-hmm. How far out does Ava want to travel to what is her goal? How is she doing this? Because remember, you didn't really see much. You heard more than you saw.
I heard more than I saw. You're right. I basically just want to she'll go out as far as she thinks sure. What her intuition tells her from that.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be difficult, but you're welcome to make me a wits streetwise roll here.
Can I rouse to add additional dice?
Always. What's your hunger at? 3?
I'm only at 1 because I just fed.
Oh yeah, you fed. Guy. Yeah, you just fed. You're good.
Wits you said and streetwise. Okay. Ooh. Okay. We'll add 2 to this from the browse.
2 successes. You can use a willpower if you'd like.
Yeah, let's spend a willpower to reroll 3.
Ollie, are you fully healed of all you're aggravated?
No, sir.
How many you got? What? 1 or 2 left?
Let's take a look real quick. Front page. I have 2 aggravated.
2 aggravated. Okay, cool.
So I think
all right, so you crit.
2,
so 4, 5, 6 total successes.
Yeah.
Which is a huge amount of successes, and truly only trying to kind of pinpoint yourself from where you believe you heard what the sound sounded like, how distant you were. What I will say is that while obviously you can't pinpoint the exact building or the exact room that this person where you believe you saw where things were coming from, with the distance the sound of what you believe to be the Lights Out pub is, you can lock down to the block with that roll that you think it is. The question becomes, where do you go from there? And how are you trying to figure, how are you trying to figure this out?
Oh, God.
It's difficult. You're going off of a vision, which are vague as a rule.
Yeah. I think the first thing I will see if any of these are public places that are either if it's a hotel or a hospital or anything that looks like maybe she might be staying there, those will be my first to deduct. And if not, then I'll start going through private residences and see if I can find where she is.
And because you're out where you're out, you're not in the middle of a downtown area. You're still just kind of close to the Lights Out pub, even though lots of money has been poured into it. And lots of these buildings are being redone. There's not a lot of public stores in this area. You got a general store. You've got yourselves a fix-it cell phone store with a couple of apartments above it, but nothing crazy like a hotel here that's sat there. The closest area the closest place is a motel that's about 5 blocks closer to the highway than you are right now. Everything else here is apartment buildings, or some that are vacant, others that are taken, and a few that are abandoned. It's hard to tell where she could have come from. And narrowing it down at that particular point, it just going building to building could be done maybe, but it would take a long time, and you're not quite sure where to even start or where to end.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you don't have options here to help track it down. My question is, what does Ava first think of doing, if anything?
I have aspects.
You do?
I could just try to premonition it again and just force another one.
Yeah. You don't have that same page anymore as it was handed over, but you have the book.
Right. I have the book. You know what?
There's also another option.
Oh.
You could try and use some oblivion powers.
Yeah, I do have Where the Veil Thins.
You do?
See if I can maybe detect some of their shadows.
Yeah, that's a level 2 power. Yep, level 2 power.
Yeah. I think maybe the Oblivion might help you here more than the Auspex.
And out of all the powers you could choose to use, Where the Veil Thins is probably one of the safest options that you have.
Okay.
You still, however, need a rouse check to begin. Is this where you're actually going to, is that what you're going to use? You're going to dip into Oblivion powers ever so slightly?
Yeah. Okay.
You get a little hungry. And let's see. It is no prerequisite, no amalgam. It's a 1 turn. It just lasts for 1 turn, and I need you to make me an intelligence plus oblivion roll.
Okay, so 2 plus, okay, so 5. I'm just gonna do this manually as I always do. Roll 5d10.
One,
Two.
2 successes, and you can re-roll 3 of those if you choose to.
Okay, yes. Oh gosh, I'm running low on the. I've got 1 willpower left after this, so this is my. But we're gonna try to re-roll. Okay.
I mean, you add 3, so you beat a like you beat above average difficulty.
Yeah,
You considered. I think it's 3 is hard because I think 2 is normal.
2 is normal, yeah.
So you beat enough to have the power work. You just don't critically succeed and maybe like have some other cool stuff happen. This is different than any of the other powers you've used, especially those that you are familiar with as a Toreador or just seeing used often from your Gangrel and Nosferatu coterie mates. Here, instead of feeling your blood thicken and allowing yourself to see beyond the veil of reality and see the possibilities that lie before, as cryptic and vague as they may be, with your ability to see visions and have premonitions. Here, when you call upon the powers of your blood, while you are a walking corpse, you feel the sapping cold in the very center of your being slowly stretch outward to your fingertips and your toes, to the top of your head. The blood that courses through you almost feels like it slows to a crawl, but it continues to move, and that cold bite takes your senses for just a brief moment. The cold lingers, of course, but that sudden shock of it quickly wisps away. And as you open your eyes, we on the outside, having a nice close-up view, don't see what you will once expect. No pitch black eyes or extended pupils. We could still see the iris and your eye as it is, was the thick gray cloud that seems to consistently move ever so subtly over both of your eyes. For anyone who would look, you would think that you've lost vision, going blind, or something terrible has happened. For you, it means seeing more than what reality presents as there. You don't see souls screaming by, calling for help like you're in a Ghostbusters movie. Initially, it's quite simply the temperature. You walk and you can just feel that icy chill lingering within a kindred when it shouldn't. And as you walk, sometimes the chill seems to dissipate a little. Other times it seems to intensify. This technically lasts 1 round. So I need from you a wits awareness.
Oh, okay.
And you may spend another willpower and re-roll 3 of those if you choose.
I'm going to hold the willpower in case I really
You're going to hold the
need it.
willpower? So
Yeah.
a normal difficulty. It's you're not, let me put it this way. As you wander the street for the next few seconds, it's less that you're going to be able to, walk an entire street or even walk a block. 1 turn is 3 seconds. You take a few steps and you can feel the cold intensify and subside very rapidly with every move that you make. But you stop for a moment and simply gaze in the area. And again, it's not the visuals of a screaming ghost that catch your eye. It's that a particular building, amongst all the rest, sticks out. And not because it doesn't belong or it's a ghastly building, but unlike the ones that surround it, especially with money pouring into this area, it stands dilapidated. It's not it's not dilapidated to the point of foreclosure, but you notice the chipped away brick, a window that has seemed smeared in handprints all over it, the door that seems to be rusted. The building itself seems to be giving way to death and decay, ignored by those who would live amongst it or even operate out of it if there could be a store put in there. But as those 3 seconds come to an end and that turn ends and you blink and the clouds dissipate from your eyes, the building looks just like all the rest. Simple, well-kept, in a 3-story apartment building.
That seems like it might be a place to check out. So I head toward it.
And as you stroll toward it, you're not using any more abilities, I imagine.
Not currently.
And as you walk up, you can see the 3 mailboxes that sit outside, each with a last name. None of them seem abandoned. They seems like everything has at least somebody living in it. There's you guys said first, second, and third floor. Single apartments. It's not like apartment building. It's more like a 3-story family home that you would see in cities more than anything else. So yeah, none of them are abandoned. You don't know which, if any, of these you're supposed to go to. What do you do?
Oh, this is going to be me going to each door asking to find a young girl. It's totally
so
not
there's basically a front
break.
door with the 3 different doorbells for each floor. And then if you would open that front door, basically it leads to straight ahead would be the door for the first floor, and then a staircase that would lead to the second and then the third floor apartments. So do you ring a doorbell? Do you go to open the door? How do you, as you stroll up, and we maybe even are 10 feet behind Ava, seeing the back of her, she stands looking at this building as a car drives by, trying to figure out how she's going to approach this. What does Ava do?
I think I may. This is not Ava's normal way of doing this. She would rather just take the social route, but I don't want to raise any alarms. And again, I know she's kind of scared, so I don't want to make this weird. I think I'm going to try to. I'm going to just try to walk into these apartment buildings, just sneak in.
You go up to the front door, and unsurprisingly, as you reach for it, it's locked.
It's locked.
So do you ring a doorbell or do you try to pick the lock?
I'm going to try to pick the lock.
Dex larceny check with a hairpin, I imagine. You pull from your head and hope that it works.
I got nothing in larceny.
Surprise. You have nothing in larceny.
All right, but I got Dex. So you know what? Let's see if I can maneuver this here. Okay.
2. Okay. Do you want to re-roll your 1 failure?
No.
You shove you slide out almost like Ocean 11 style. You slide out a hairpin. You look around, make sure nobody's looking, and we see you hunch over. And as you stick it in, you quickly twist and turn, and then it gets jammed, and you try to pull it out, and then twist it the other way. And as you pop it back out, the only thing that's happened is your hairpin is all bent the fuck up.
God damn it. I can't do this shit. This is not. Ava says that to herself as this thing kind of breaks and bends.
You say that to yourself out of curiosity. If Ava felt the opportunity to dip into oblivion for a power that she's not familiar with, again, it wouldn't mean that she takes over your body. However, it would mean you take a couple of stains. Would you?
I might.
You don't know what power? You have no idea. You simply feel a surge.
My thought was, yes, once I snuck in, I was going to try to use the shadows to my advantage to try to find her. So
how are you going to do that out of curiosity? What was your plan? I just want to know your thoughts.
She's connected to the shadows. I could maybe try to use the shadows to find her somehow, is what I was going to try to see if I could hear the voice, hear whisperings, hear anything. I know I can cast my own shadow. So maybe I cast it in. So that was my thought, but yes.
Gotcha.
Ava is thinking oblivion right now is her only way of finding.
What powers did you write down that you know?
I know shadow cast and where the veil thins.
Okay, so in shadow cast, gotcha.
Shadow cast, I think, is like an intimidation thing, really, more than anything.
So there's 2 powers that actually would work for what you're trying to do here, none of which you are familiar with using. So are you willing to take a stain for each new power that you would like to try and use?
Yeah. I think
so. The first thing Ava thinks of is looking around, spying, trying to figure things out where one might find this particular individual. Take a stain for me, and then make me a rouse check.
Oop, I did the wrong thing. Why won't it let me mark the little stains on my? Oh, it's the other. Okay, got it. Yep. Rouse. Oh, okay.
Okay, so you're at a hunger 3. So after that, I need you to make me. Oh, there's no roll for that after, actually. And you already have Auspec, so that works. So your thoughts almost manifest themselves as you think to yourself and you're breaking down, okay, how am I going to approach this? I need to know what floor it's on. So I need to at least look around, see if that helps. Then I need to maybe find my way in there. Maybe I can help use the shadows. And as you begin to piece this out, there's that feeling that you had when you initially took on the shadow of something more, sat at your fingertips like electricity, thickening your veins and drawing that cold forth. And you probably take a minute, couple seconds to think about whether this is a good idea, but knowing what you feel is important, you decide to go for it. And taking a stain, you feel the blood thicken, you feel that chill again. But unlike last time, it doesn't slow your blood to a crawl nearly as much. And instead, you simply watch as somebody walks by, chatting with their girlfriend, they're both laughing. You're not really paying too much attention to them. But as you indulge and the blood thickens and your eyes snap to them, you watch as the gentleman's shadow stops. But he continues. They turn the block and they wander off. But his shadow has stood. Your thought was to figure out which floor, and wordlessly, without command, you watch it walk to the stairs and slip under the tiniest crack of the door and disappear.
Okay. Damn. All right. I'm going to follow to that door. What floor was that?
Yeah, you don't know. You have no idea where it went.
Oh,
it left
shit.
under the front door without a word. It simply seemed like it knew what it was going to do.
And this was a front door of somebody's apartment, or was
This is the front door of the apartment building that leads to the 3 different apartment door floors. So it went through the front door. You don't know what building it went to. Do you feel like you like, is there something
I want to try to follow it. Yes. I want to follow that shadow.
Okay. So you go to the front door again.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to get by? You can strength brawl it, pull an ollie, and just try and bash the door down.
It's
because you tried to pick the lock. You could try again, but I mean, it wouldn't go so well, probably.
I assume I don't have enough time to like grab some poor sap and get him to do it for me.
You have no idea how much time you have. You don't even know what that thing's going to do.
Fuck.
You don't even know what you just did, other than you needed help with an idea and you felt the call of your blood for assistance.
I have 1 dot in strength brawl, so I don't think I'm going to be able to break this thing open.
What's your strength?
My strength is 1 and my brawl is 0.
Oh, okay. I thought you had a 1 in brawl, so I thought,
yeah,
fair enough.
So
we even see this. This is not something that's just happening at a game. We see Ava walk up. She like huffs, maybe trying to figure it out. She looks up and down, thinks about breaking the door down for a minute, and then realizes, that might not work. And she steps down from the stairs, looking at the windows. There is a fire escape you could always go for. You spend a few minutes probably trying to figure this shit out.
Yes.
And as that time goes, eventually, as you maybe think, okay, let's go for the fire escape, you start trying to build a plan. From underneath the front door, you watch as the shadow slips back out and it glides down the stairs and meets up with your shadow. It seems to lean in and whisper something, but you don't hear words. When it's done and you see it kind of like slip away into darker shadows, vanishing forever, you simply have the knowledge. 2nd floor.
Okay. Oh shit. Okay. That was really cool. I am
now
like,
you're thinking, how do I get in?
Yeah. If there is a fire escape or window,
of course, there's fire escape windows. Somebody's living on the 2nd floor. Last name Schumacher.
Okay.
You have that. So as I was leading to before, you have those options, but you also, again, feel the weight of power, allowing you to slip by should need be, if you were willing to take a 2nd stain.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I know you're not, I know Oblivion is a chance, but you're dipping into Oblivion in an unnatural way, fully aware of the consequences to come.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, honestly, I'm at Humanity 5. I take 2 stains. I still roll 3 dice. That's pretty good for a remorse test. You do 2 per, you do 1 per stain, right?
Yeah.
I think so at the end. So I might have to roll 2 remorse tests. You know what? Ava's really determined.
You think
right
this is
now.
the last one I'm going to ask you? You think this is going to be the one that gets you where you want to go?
Yeah.
You don't know. You don't know.
I think this might be. I think this might be it.
Okay.
So
take the stain then, if that's what you want.
Yep.
And I need another rouse check.
Ava's determined. So, oh shit. Yeah, I got to think about my rouse check.
Hey,
all right.
you don't get any hungrier. Fantastic.
We're good.
So you again, you take a minute, and as those 1 or 2 minutes pass by, and as the shadow makes its way back and feeds you the information, you look to the fire escape. You're like, yeah, okay, I could probably make that work. I just have to open the window. That might be problematic. Got to make sure I don't make any noise. But that feeling of electricity sat at your fingertips, making your hair stand on end, is still there. There's something more you could do. And so, after another debate, you indulge and you allow yourself to be a conduit of this ability. You don't truly know how you're making a lot of these things happen, only that you want them to happen and they occur. And in this moment, as you look at the building, you're like, I got to find a way in. Your shadow from behind you, you don't notice it first, spreads wide. It loses its shape and becomes wispy tendrils in a black mass. And that quickly becomes aware. You become aware of it, Ava, as it climbs forward. And instead of having a shadow itself, you watch as this wave of squirming tendrils in a solid black mass shoot and spew forth from your feet, covering the sidewalk, up the stairs, and encasing the building in a dark shadow. Would you like to use the shadow to get inside?
Yeah.
I'm going to need another stain.
Oh my god. I'm at 3 stains. I get 2 dice to roll, everybody, at the end of this. Oh shit.
You could ignore it.
No, I'm doing it. We're in it. I gotta do this.
Go ahead. Take a stain. I need a rouse check.
Okay. Oh my god. I'm at hunger 4. I got hunger 4. I got 3 stains. All right, let's.
Again, that feeling doesn't ever leave as your shadows spew forth and completely encase this building. You look up to the second floor and you can actually see through the window, through a dim light, some chair or couch. And as though it were instinctual, you look to it, and without looking away, we simply watch Ava step into the shadow, and the shadow swallows her. But we don't see her disappear. Within their same view, just out of focus as we pan our camera up, we see Ava finishing that step into the main room, behind the window of the second floor, having used the shadows to move. You can move through this entire building. At a whim, as long as you can see where you want to go.
I'm gonna go to the second room, the second floor room.
You stepped into the shadow on the ground floor outside, and then appeared in the second floor main living room where that dim light was.
Holy shit.
And you can see the TV still on, playing an infomercial with volume on mute, but nobody's in the living room itself.
Holy shit. I'm going to go scope
so
out this
you're in the
room.
second floor.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I am going to see if I can find a spot to make my way through each room in this
and do what?
Apartment. See if I can find Celia.
Gotcha. And you go room to room. There's a bathroom that you open up first. The kitchen is otherwise empty. You do see a few pictures. You see a rather young couple off on a hike in one picture. You see a girl making a silly face playing skee ball at a local arcade in another. But as you continue to go through the rooms themselves, the bedroom finally kind of comes in as your final one. And as you open the door and you're waiting, and finally, this is it. Celia should be here. You see the queen size bed with the same couple on those pictures out in the living room, sleeping soundly, cuddled up in bed, without Celia in sight.
Fuck is she? Why did it take me here? Where is she? There's got to be some evidence of her here. Anything of hers. I remember the bag she had at the hotel. I remember everything that she had. Maybe she's hanging out with this family here and she's not here right now. She's got to be somewhere.
It won't cause you a stain to use Wear the Veil thins. It will be a rouse check, however.
I'm at hunger 4.
And you could feed. I mean, there's 2 people here, but you're gonna have to resist a hunger frenzy if you taste blood at this point. Or hunger is where it starts to become a problem.
I'm taking the chance. All right, baby, let's go. Come on, baby, don't give me another fuck.
5 hunger. You don't go unconscious until you go above 5, but now you're in a bad spot. Now I need an intelligence oblivion roll.
Oh my god. 3, 5 dice. Is this all hunger dice? If my dice pool is 5?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Roll 5d10. Okay, I didn't crit.
2 successes. 2 successes. That's all you need to have this power work. So in a moment of like, where, and doing everything you can to fight off the thoughts of feeding on the 2 people that is sleep comfortably in that bed, a feast. You could easily sate your hunger and then some. And the beast says, sate your hunger first. You can focus better when that beast is under control. But you don't think about it. You just allow the cold blood to once again crawl through your veins. And as you look around, in the very corner of the room, on the floor,
he's in the shadows.
You can the floor itself looks as though it's rotted away.
No.
And as you blink and the ability ends, the brand new rug that has clearly been put there when this building got redone the past year or so sits over where you saw a rotting piece of ground.
No.
I'm curious what you think is happening.
Did she die in here is what Ava's thinking.
Well, what are you going to do? Do you want to claw the floor up? Do you want to
yes. Honestly.
How about your hunger?
I assume that if I make noise in here, it might wake them up. I'm feeding off of both of them. So they are out of it.
So I need a resist hunger frenzy for the first one you feed off of.
I hope this rolls right because resist frenzy, it's like half of your willpower. Oh, and I have no willpower right now.
We can look it up. Hang on. We can always make sure you get the right roll.
It's a third of your willpower plus your resolve, I think. Because
hunger
or something
frenzy?
like that. Because
here we go.
I know this doesn't always roll right.
Okay, so yeah, you're gonna be rolling during a hunger frenzy, blah blah.
Oh my god, this might be where we leave Ava, dude.
Well, you need to beat a fail rouse check when at hunger 5. Taste of blood about hunger 4 or higher is you have to beat a difficulty of 3.
Yeah, so
I'm just trying to figure out what you roll.
It should be willpower. So after destroying the subject, the vampire can make a willpower test. I thought I just. It's like such a weird math thing that you have to do for a resist frenzy.
I always forget.
Yeah.
My ADHD brain can only hold so much information before it starts filing out the rest.
Yeah. Yeah, if anybody knows what it's like a very weird
hunger frenzy test. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let's see. Every time a vampire fails a rouse check while at hunger 5, they must make the test. Depending on the story, can enforce hunger frenzy test more for whatever. Okay. During the frenzy, the vampire seeks fresh human blood. If the closest source is their touchstone, willpower hunger frenzy ends when the vampire reaches hunger 1 or below. It just gives you the difficulty level to pass.
Yeah, I know. That's where I'm at too. I'm like, why is the roll not there?
They don't say what the roll is.
Okay, hang on. Let me type in resist frenzy. Let me see if that comes up with something.
Let me pull up.
No, that's not.
The demi. So my chronicle, we switched over to demiplane, and they actually have like the rules written in.
Okay, here we go.
It's very useful.
Willpower roll.
It's a willpower.
It's just a willpower roll.
And that is
set by the storyteller against the difficulty set by the storyteller. Vampires add dice equal to 1/3 of their humanity rounded down to your willpower pool. That's what it is. It's the 1/3 humanity rounded down that you add as dice. So if you're at 5, you're going to end up adding
this is
1.
Why I hate
just 1 because you're rounding down.
So it's 1.
It's your willpower pool plus 1.
And it doesn't matter about the spent willpower, right? It's just because my willpower I have 4 willpower total. I spent 3 of them this session.
But your total pool is 4. It's 4. Usually, yeah.
So I think that's how it works.
5.
I roll 5 total.
Add dice equal to 1/3 their humanity rounded down to their willpower pool when resisting frenzy.
Hang on, let me check. Willpower pool may actually be the pool.
That's what I'm thinking. It's saying pool, so that makes me think it'll be whatever you have left in there.
So I would roll 2 dice.
I know they've been remaking the core rulebook for over a year, but please, God, when you do, just give me tables with rolls. That's all I want.
And yeah, I hate that we have to do this weird math of the one thing. I'm like, what?
No shit.
What does this mean?
Yeah, because if you had 6 humanity, it would be 2, but because you have 5, it's just 1. because you have to split it into thirds. The math is a little hard. Is a little different. Yeah.
So.
Vampire rolls willpower.
Temporary. Okay, so like health, willpower is a tracker with both a maximum rating and a temporary pool of points. So it's only 3.
Okay, so it's based off your pool.
It's based off what you have not spent.
Yeah, how much willpower do you have left?
I have 1 willpower left.
So you have 2 total. That's your pool.
2d10. 2d10.
Holy
Oh, the
shit,
dangers
dude.
of hunger in 5th edition. I still love it so much.
Fucked right now.
Not you, they are. The person is.
Yeah, but I'm gonna take another stain.
Yeah, you do not resist.
Fuck, dude.
You can spend your 1 will. No, you can't.
No, I can't.
Yeah, you would need to roll 10, 10, 10.
I'm gonna take another stain.
Yeah, you take another stain. Who did you? I'm assuming you went for the guy.
I went for the guy first.
Yeah. You only can take a max of 4 hunger off of somebody, just so you know.
Oh, damn.
So you kill them.
The frenzy ends when you get down. But if it sates you down to 1, you can roll. I just read that you can roll again to try to overcome it. I believe. Let me double check that.
Oh God! And this is in Ollie's little area too. He's gonna be pissed.
Well, it's a few blocks forward. It's not like in his block of that. Like the couple blocks he considers his.
Okay, that's fine then. As long as Ollie isn't pissed. Oh my God. So I'm going to be rolling 1 die, everybody, from my remorse roll.
Yeah, so this is the hunger frenzy ends when the vampire reaches hunger 1 or below.
Or below. Yeah, the hunger frenzy ends. That's not what I'm saying. I just don't think she puts her at hunger 0. Even though she kills them.
No, it would only put her at hunger 1.
It only puts you at hunger 1. You are wholly under control. You are back down to 1. But there's a dead man and a sleeping woman cuddled by the dead man. And his corpse, so like sitting in front of you.
Oh my God, just leave Ava. Oh my God.
Oh fuck. Okay, so the guy's dead.
The guy's dead. You're at hunger 1.
She's still there.
She's alive. Doesn't even know.
I'm going to feed off of her as well, so that she's out of it.
Yeah, no, I know you don't.
Yes.
You won't have to make her resist hunger frenzy.
Okay.
Are you bringing her down to like just barely, like
so
yes.
so
she'll
she's
basically be out of it for 2 straight days, according to Raw. Our rules is written. Yeah. So like, that's a way you can kind of do it in your own. And your humanity 5, that's pretty humanity 5 of you to be like, you know what, this will be good for her not to wake up with the corpse, and hopefully somebody calls because she will not be getting up the whole next tomorrow. So you do it. You respectfully.
God.
Do your best.
Oh my God.
However, you can now move around without much of a concern.
Now I am going to go to that corner and I am going to rip it apart.
You drop down.
I'm going to use Auspex actually.
Sure.
Spirit's Touch, and see if I can sense anything here.
Absolutely. What do you, so your Spirit's Touch is the last, read it out for me. I can open it if you need me to. There it is. So 1 turn, it's a rouse check. Or the ground, blah, blah. The vampire can sense the emotional residue left by those who have handled the object or visited a location in the past. The user gains insight into not only that person, but also what was done and under what circumstances. While rarely crystal clear, information often provides. Yeah, okay, that would work completely fine. So rouse check me. You're hungrier. You're at 2.
Okay.
And then I need you to make me that roll. Pull intelligence Auspex. You need to be beating a difficulty of it depends on how well you roll. Let's see how well you roll.
60-10.
Pretty good.
Yep. Ooh.
1 success.
What? Are you fucking kidding me? I don't have any willpower to spend. I
know.
1.
You can't you can, but it'll then put you into exhausted, which you get penalties.
So if I spend all of my willpower, I am now exhausted, essentially.
Yeah, you're gonna take penalties. It's probably not a good idea.
All right. Well, yeah,
you try to focus, and the thoughts of how much you're having to deal with right now are a bit hard for you to do so. You can just reach down and pull the rug up if you choose.
I might just do that.
We see Ava just think like, okay, fine, fuck it. She drops her hand, and you don't have to make any rolls. You just tear the rug up, and you can hear the staples popping out of the wooden floor underneath, and you pull it back just enough to see the wood beneath this is much older than the rug would allow you to realize. Of course, when they redid the building, they did it as cheaply as possible, but still to make sure it looks as nice as possible to the human eye. So a lot of the old structure underneath was very much kind of left as long as it was quote unquote good enough. And this floor underneath, as rotted away as it is, has about a quarter-sized hole in it, where wits awareness.
Oh my God. Okay.
You critically succeed.
Thank God.
You absolutely see what you think as the moonlight outside just creeps through the shadows that still linger over this building. A familiar looking handwriting on a loose piece of paper.
What? I'm gonna grab the paper.
Strength
and read it.
You gotta pull the wood up.
Oh fuck.
It's not that hard. You have a 1d10.
I got one die in this.
It's not that hard, but we'll see what you roll.
Hey!
Oh, you fucking rolled the success.
Ava's just trying so hard.
This piece of wood was very clearly loose at some point, and only held down by like one new nail. And as you pull it, that one success is all I'm looking for. As it pops and the floorboard lifts, and you can actually get both hands into the next one, so you don't have to make a roll, and you can move the next one out of the way. And you see 3 pieces of loose leaf paper scribbled over with some stains, with the handwriting of clearly Shuichi Saito.
Oh my God.
One of his safe houses for Thin Bloods.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm screaming and the other 2 players are shaking their heads.
We didn't even fill a Saito bar, Mathis. I feel cheated.
Saito's not here. He didn't show up.
Oh my God.
This is just lore and leftovers. However, you quickly you grab them, and I imagine there is that moment. Ava's like, oh my God, there's more, whatever this means. She sees it as like another piece of Saito, however she sees it. You're probably not looking at the papers in detail immediately. How long is it genuinely in game? You think take Ava to calm down for a moment and just start looking over the papers?
Like a good 5 minutes.
Yeah,
sit down.
You're really going through it.
Yeah.
And then you start going through them one at a time. And this is less like his notebook. There are no formulas written on this or magical theories that are kind of just scribbled across. These seem to just be a list of names and some short descriptions with lines leading to clearly connections between certain ones. And a lot of these names are unfamiliar to you. And that may be because most of them were probably Thin Bloods, if this is the safe house that you believe it to be, one of the ones he was using nearby, which, Ava might go, that makes sense. Thin Bloods were coming through here often. It would make sense for him to have a safe house kind of built this way. You move on to the next page, and here you see a basic description of the points of contact, of where he can move these Thin Bloods through the city. These are mostly out of date at this point, and a lot of them are just not viable anymore with how much power the Camarilla has, and how much kind of chaos has kind of started to crawl through the city. And the third page is not handwriting of Saito's at all. Handwriting of unfamiliar to you completely. However, it starts with the name Celia at the very top.
This has got to be Alyssa immediately.
And then there's a bunch of things written down with question marks, connections and names, not like Saito, a little more chaotic in the scrawled across in random fashion. However, there does come a point at the very bottom of the opposite side of the paper, fully written in, that does say simply, Celia must stay away from Heloise.
Oh my God! No! Stop!
And that's underlined as though it was very important.
But this wasn't Saito's handwriting, so at least
that was not, but it was with Saito's papers. And the paper doesn't look new necessarily. It looks rather aged, like it's been sitting under there for an equal amount of time. So it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for whoever this handwriting is to have been working with Saito at the time, and perhaps their research was crossed.
Oh my God.
The writing itself is not, Saito's writing is like, how would you describe Saito's handwriting, Ava? How do you see Saito's handwriting?
Elegant,
what does it look like to you?
Cursive.
Elegant. Yeah, that's how I saw it. This is print written in a hurry. Some of the letters don't even, like, if there's an E, some of the dashes don't even connect to the back of the E. It's very quickly written, though it is legible.
Hmm.
You could
Spirit's
premonition
touch?
it.
Or yeah.
Spirit's touch would also work.
I think Tracy thinks it might be Rudy or something, but I would like to confirm. So I am going to Auspex this.
And do what? Spirit's touch?
I think Spirit's touch might give me more, because it's directly, interacting with the object. So
another rouse check.
Okay.
Okay,
Intelligence.
you do not get any hungrier.
Intelligence aspects.
You need to beat a difficulty of at least 3.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
What'd you roll?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5. Oh yeah, you rolled incredibly well. Take a moment and you step back and you separate the paper from Saito's papers just to be safe, not to mess up the premonitions. This is important, and there's at least one dead person whose life is gone because of this. So I imagine Ava doesn't want to fuck this up entirely.
Yeah.
She takes a couple steps back, putting the papers on the ground, and just gently holds the paper in the palm of her left hand while placing just the tips of her fingers on her right hand over it and closing her eyes. She allows the blood to do what it does best, give her the truth she cannot see. And she allows herself to slip away. This isn't one where she opens her eyes. She simply is given visions by the blood, or at least given some sort of emotional recoil here. And because you rolled a 5, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, a 5 total. And you rolled extremely, extremely well. Not only can you feel the state of whatever echoed emotion sits on this, as light as it may be, panic is palpable. And as you look, maybe even open your eyes to see a ghostly image of something, perhaps something is given away, you actually do see for a moment in your mind's eye a familiar silhouette hunched over with, and I mean familiar in that it's not Saito, but that of Rudy, down on a knee, placing a piece of, writing something down on the paper, the first few lines of the paper that you're holding in now, before stashing underneath. And as he turns around, for a brief moment, you see Saito step into view as well.
You met with Rudy?
Rudy and Saito about to say something to each other. You're not sure if it's something that they were familiar or if Saito caught him, because the moment they're about to speak, it ends.
They were exchanging notes. What the hell? Oh my God. Okay. This is all a revelation to Ava, and she is like reeling from this. Okay. Well, I'm glad she found these notes, but she hasn't found Celia.
Correct.
It led me here. It led me to this spot.
Perhaps, it's possible she was kept here at some point.
Maybe she was here.
The people who would know, if they were, are dead and asleep next to you.
Fuck.
Because if they were, they had to watch over her. They would have had to been mind controlled in some fashion. Emmy does it from families every so many years.
I'm going to take more time to scour this apartment. Like, just find any hint of them harboring a young girl in here.
Wits investigation.
Okay. Come on, dice. Please give me a crit.
The opposite of what you asked for. Give me 1 second. I don't know if there's anything that you can use power-wise. Yeah, not really. Oh,
Where is she?
So yeah, you rolled 0 successes. I imagine you're not going to re-roll.
No. I'm just if she can't find her in here and there's nothing, then
you found something. There wasn't nothing.
I found something. She can't be found then. I don't know where else to look. So I take the papers with me. God, I don't know what I'm going to do with these 2 people, the one dead body. I mean, they can't. I was here in shadows, in a cloak of shadows, so they can't trace it back to me. But this person is like desanguinated, so that is a problem.
There's an ability you can use. There is a rouse check required. I will not require a stain because it is a level 1 ability and it is minimal. And your character would know what it did before she used it. It's simply called Ashes to Ashes. It can turn a corpse. You can dissolve a corpse in 3 turns.
Oh my God.
It's a rouse check, and then it needs to be Stamina Oblivion.
All right. Yeah. Ava knows she needs to get rid of this body. So she's going to try
Make a rouse check.
Okay.
What did you roll up? Sorry.
You do not get hungrier.
So stamina plus Oblivion.
So that's 5 dice, or no, sorry, 4 dice pool. So 4d10, 1 success.
Okay, I don't.
And I can't.
2 dice. I think that's all. You just need to roll a success. I think you're fine.
Okay.
And it's not going to resist because it's a corpse. And so you walk over to it, and with a chilling finger touch, like a fingertip touch of your index finger, you simply place it on his forehead and pull back. And from right where your finger is imprinted, you see it a dim red, and that red seems to deepen and spread quickly from his forehead to his cheek, down to his neck and collarbones, and underneath his pajamas, all the way down to his feet. 3 seconds pass, and then 6. And as that 6-second pass, through that time, the skin begins to bubble, cave in on itself, rot away. And as the last 3 seconds of this 9-second ability kind of come to, the body bubbles into a sloshy muck before it seeps into the mattress and leaves not a human imprinted stain, but a human-sized oblong one seeped into the bed itself.
I don't think Ava can believe she's doing this right now.
Well, yeah, because is she though? Because is she doing it is the question, certainly. But also you're a Toreador, and seeing that is not something, that's probably real fun for you.
No,
but there is no body. The body is gone. There's no evidence of a body being there beyond the clothing that was there. Nothing.
Holy shit. There's no like blood or anything.
Nothing.
God, okay.
The corpse is considered destroyed.
Damn. This woman is going to wake up
confused. But now at least maybe she'll think he abandoned her rather than was just dead next to her. So is that better?
Yeah, it had to be done.
So you want to scour the apartment? Wits investigation.
I will. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Oh, you already rolled wits investigation. You rolled a 4.
I
failed. You did not find anything. It's hard. Yeah. No, it doesn't look like there's any evidence here, but you kind of went through quickly. You're distracted. There's a lot happening all at once, all of a sudden. And are you ready to? Does it come to a point? Is there anything else rather before we step away that Ava wants to do before leaving this apartment?
No, I don't think there's anything else she can do. Clearly, it's not meant to be for me to find her.
And when she's kind of defeated feeling and she's ready to leave, you're kind of just pacing. You take a step, and without realizing it, your foot doesn't meet carpet, but concrete. And as you turn around, the shadow that was encompassing it all is utterly gone. All that remains is your own shadow behind you, moving in, pseudo tandem, always that momentary lapse in behind, without evidence that you ever stepped foot.
Oh my God.
The front door remains locked, the windows shut, and the TV glow from the infomercial still visible from the sidewalk where you stand. You're cold. You might even feel a little sick. Ava goes home to the ivory tower for the night. Dakota, you were heading back to where the gangrel were gathering.
Yep.
And you're hoping to speak with whom?
Well, I guess I'm there to see who's there tonight. The plan, as per Ollie's request, is Moon and Rika, though Dakota's more interested in Rika.
Well, Moon won't actually be there, but Rika and what's his name? Not Leonard. Is it Leonard? Oh, fuck. He's in the Chicago book. He's the guy with jeans. He was kind of late night. He was like the later addition at the end of season 2 to the pack. He's there.
Okay.
You haven't really had a lot of conversation
Great.
with him, but it's him and Rika being there. And she seems to be having a genuinely casual conversation with this individual and doesn't even notice you there.
Of course not. Why would she? Is it small tonight? Like it's a small group?
Yeah, small gathering tonight. I mean, you guys just had a big one the other night, so not everybody kind of came back immediately the following couple nights.
Dakota probably puts out like a whistle, like you call a dog.
Mm-hmm. And as you do so, they both immediately turn their attention over to you.
And I kind of give Rika the like, come here. No,
there's a beat between you doing that and her turning to the guy who she was talking to and politely saying goodbye or whatever, wrapping up the conversation before she makes her way over to you. But she doesn't initiate conversation. She's dressed similar to how you used to dress. Your style has changed while theming may have remained, but she kind of sticks to that old like worn out jeans and kind of plain t-shirt. Doesn't look like she cares too much about her own physical appearance overall.
I know that you don't give a lot of fucks about politics and asking permission and whatnot, but I'd like to say since you decided to kill me and drop me off here, it's about time I asked for a favor in return.
She takes that all in, and she's not subtle about how she receives it. A lot of it, there's definitely some distaste and anger when you kind of spew what she may consider accusations. When you say, come times for a favor, she kind of just shakes her head subtly in like disbelief, but allows you to continue to ask for the favor without saying anything.
You seem so very good at siring, Kindred.
She finally kind of like breaks her silence. She goes, and I am damn surprised you're in the throes of politics.
Yeah,
I've heard some of your tales while I've been here the past couple of nights. Consider me impressed and baffled.
I'm glad those are the words that you chose.
She shakes her head. I know you don't believe it, but I did you a favor, kid.
A favor? We will agree to disagree on that fact. But I have, as always, made the best out of a bad situation.
What do you even remember about that night?
I don't want to talk about it.
Well, maybe that's your problem.
That's not why I'm here, Rika.
Well, maybe that's why I'm here.
You're here to talk about the night you killed me?
No, but if it'll remove some of this... She kind of catches herself. Listen, we had a great night that night. I will never forget. As I'm sure you know by now, my own instincts got the better of me.
Yeah, it was a great night.
You were a kid. I didn't want you to just die, but I wasn't going to sit there and... Listen, I ain't in a place to raise anybody. So I saved you from dying and put you in the nearest secure city I could fucking find. Sorry I wasn't there for you, but she gestures to you after that. Looks like you made out fucking great.
Oh, yeah, I just made out with it. It was that easy.
It was an accident. I didn't mean to.
The gangrel have an opportunity. A political one, I guess you could say. To have the first newly approved sired kindred in Chicago. The prince has made some requirements. One of which is that, this new kindred doesn't end up, an older generation.
Wait.
Wait.
I'm
not done.
Are you about to ask me
I'm not done,
to sire somebody?
Not even for me.
Hell no. Hell no. I didn't even mean, listen, I'm sure you're a huge benefit to Chicago, but I didn't mean to sire you, but it was better to, I didn't want to kill you, kid.
Well, since, you didn't mean to, the big accident, now you have a choice. One that will actually help somebody. All of us, specifically.
Listen, I know what comes with the handcuffs of siring somebody with the legal authority of the city you're in. I'm going to pass. I don't want to be anybody's mom. I don't want to be anybody's parent. I don't need to help anybody. I just need to live my life until I'm lucky enough that the sun catches me off guard one day and I am off this godforsaken planet.
It'll be just like last time. Sire him and leave him in Chicago.
I don't want the prince to see my fucking face.
Well,
I don't want to be
Rika,
here.
I hate to break it to you, but the prince is gonna see your face, along with all the other gangrel at the next Elysium.
She shakes her head. I'm not doing it.
Why? What do you have to lose?
She gestures again to you. I'm not going to do that again.
All right,
I don't want to
fine.
bring more people into this miserable unlife that we're shackled with. We can't enjoy the things people enjoy anymore, so we make do with these weird nightly things that we can do, but it doesn't fucking fill the hole. So why am I going to do that to somebody else? I did it to you. I'm sorry. I fucking did that to you, but would you have preferred to die?
Are you done complaining?
I'm done saying no. No.
I'll ask nicely. Please. Because you
And
fucked
what happens
up.
when you're done asking nicely?
Then I have to resort to other measures.
Her stance doesn't shrink. However, her face grows stoic with an eyebrow gently raised. Is that a threat, kid?
Promise. That being said, Rika, I always take no as an answer. I appreciate you hearing me out. But I'd like you to turn around and look at all of this. When was the last time you saw more than 2 gangrels gathered in any city?
I don't know how to break it. I don't want to break your heart, but when was the last time I cared?
But that's your problem. You'll sit here and complain that nobody has your back, that you're all alone, and your survival instincts and life sucks and it's hard. It's a lot fucking easier knowing all of them have your back. But what I'm learning...
I'd rather be like exploring the country and going to fucking concerts to bands you've never heard of in the middle of cornfields in a state no one cares to visit, to enjoy your nights and enjoy your eternal fucking youth, than sitting here and playing politics and pretending you're a chess master. Fuck that shit. Enjoy it. Come back with me. Maybe there's a friendship here I never realized we could have had. Let's go enjoy our unlives.
Rika, I'm not stopping you or any other gangrel for coming and going amongst your freedom. But I made a choice so that all of you don't have to. I stay here and I advocate for us.
Nobody asked you to do that.
You're right, they didn't. That's what makes it all the sweeter. Because in the end, when you need something, or he needs something, or they need something, Dakota Rain will be right here. And you can bet your bottom fucking dollar I will come through. Because I don't make threats, Rika. Only promises.
How long do I have to decide this?
Right now, there isn't a timeline. But I wanted to see your immediate reaction in the face of your mistakes.
Just be prepared to start asking me in a not nice way. If I say no, I'll be ready for it.
I don't have to fight you to get you to do it.
She doesn't really have anything to say to that.
But I respect your answer of no. Just know that answer doesn't just affect me or you. It affects all the gangrel.
I'll keep that in mind.
You should. Especially the next time we fight for our places. in this city.
I'm probably just going to sit that one out.
Oh, it's funny, Rika. Nobody gets to sit it out.
She just like kind of as you say that she goes to say something, but she just holds back. She shakes her head and turns to just walk away without really properly ending the conversation.
It's good to see you, Rika.
She just throws her hand up like a half-assed goodbye, but doesn't verbally respond.
Oh, what is it with parents and abandonment issues? I like turn around and like go walk off. Like, what a cunt.
Yeah, absolutely. And the crunching of the grass under your feet as you do. Ollie, was there anything you were looking to do this evening, or were you just kind of closing up the restaurant as Grant is gone, I think, for this night?
If there wasn't a lot of time, he was just going to hold off on everything for tomorrow.
There wasn't a ton, like a couple hours maybe, so.
Yep.
Well, as the next night rolls around, first, everybody rouse check for waking up. Then, Ollie, I need 3 more D10s to heal your aggravated.
Okay.
And here.
Whew.
Ollie at 2, so just 3 more now. I need 3 more rouse checks.
Okay, I'll rouse this.
3, 4.
My hunger 5.
Damn, your hunger 5 and 1 left aggravated to heal.
Are you freaking kidding me?
He has a network that he very rarely does touches. He has connections and like Ollie's in his home court right now, and it hasn't been overly poached by you guys or anything recently. So finding somebody to feed is going to be simply a matter of a request, and somebody will show up. It's simply a matter of not of resisting the hunger frenzy.
Yeah.
So, Ollie, I imagine you would reach out to a network. You probably wouldn't even come upstairs until you were fully ready and fed and feeling better about yourself, keeping yourself kind of in an area where there's no chance you even see an accidental, like someone's cut from a construction worker or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And do you want your usual? Are you asking for like a homeless individual, or are you asking for somebody to run out to get bagged blood for you? Bagged blood wouldn't. I need to read that actually. Bagged blood, would that help a 5 hunger?
I don't.
Because if you go on a hunger frenzy and bagged blood,
it's twice as much, right? You have to drink twice as much bagged
blood.
Yeah,
bagged blood is like it's like 1 point per bag, maybe 2.
I mean, it's
when it's been getting bad, Ollie has had to defer back to feeding on what he has for the cats, which that
pigs.
only lasts so long.
Yeah, pigs. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's true. You have wildlife that you could feed off of, and you're not of the humanity or of the generation where it's still feeding you fully,
at least,
sating,
yeah,
right?
at least getting you down till you can bag feed.
Yeah. I mean, you've at this point you're kind of accustomed to tasting animal blood. It does not taste nearly as good as human blood. It's almost like just drinking like rotten milk, but it's doable. You can do it. And with a pig that size, instead of just getting 2, you can get up to 3. You will have to resist a hunger frenzy, however.
Okay.
To not kill the pig.
All right, how do I do that? Oh, there's
hunger frenzy is a willpower check plus 1/3 your humanity rounded down. So how much willpower in your pool do you have?
I think I had 2 left. How many did we get back?
At the beginning, you get
you're supposed to roll the higher, whichever's higher, your resolve or composure, and each success is supposed to bring back a willpower.
I thought it was just half of whatever your highest number is.
I guess half, yeah.
I'll look it up though, but yeah.
So it's whichever's higher.
Willpower. And what's your humanity?
My humanity is 7.
7 still?
Yes.
Recovering willpower. Here we go. The beginning of a session, a character can remove an amount of superficial damage on their willpower up to their composure or resolve. Use the highest. Okay, so you don't have it. It's just whatever. Every session, composure or resolve, whatever that score, you remove and damage in your willpower and gain that much willpower back, essentially.
Okay, then I only have one used, so I'm pretty good.
Okay, so whatever you got left in there, plus 1/3 of your humanity rounded down, which will be 2. So your willpower plus 2 in your as your dice pool.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I imagine it's pretty good. 1, 2, 3. Yep, that's all you need. You need 3 successes.
Cool.
So if you don't want to kill the pig, you don't have to kill the pig. You can leave it with 1 hunger left or 1 dot left, and it'll bring you down to 3 hunger. off of that, but you won't be fiending and you will be out of hunger frenzy danger.
Yeah, I'll do that. And then he'll probably feed on the way back to the bar.
So go ahead and make me your hunting check for just a normal attack.
It's brawl strength, right?
Yep. For you.
Got it. Five successes.
Yeah. You absolutely easily find somebody, and you can feed 2 more off of them, leaving somebody not in the state that Ava left the girl in, but just the state above that, where they'll be okay in 24-ish hours. They'll just be a little bit.
Yeah.
And so you want to bring them back and put them into one of your back rooms and just say you found them like on the street kind of thing, like you usually do. Make sure they're taken care of.
Yeah.
All right. And you'll be back down to 1 hunger. It takes you about an hour's worth of time to take care of that. So before you even get back, from feeding, Ava and Dakota would probably be at the Lights Out pub meeting together.
And
first.
I'm going to just make I'm not in a bad place.
What's your hunger at? 3?
3, but I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick hunt on the way.
You can critically succeed.
Yep.
Messy critical, though. You messy critical.
I did.
Are we all just...
So you can use a willpower point and re-roll the 10 so you don't actually crit, and you would still succeed.
True.
And you only have to choose. You can only re-roll the 10 if you want. You don't have to roll 3.
And my willpower just came back, so that makes sense.
So you might as well try to avoid a messy crit by re-rolling the 10.
Okay, I
so you roll 4 successes. It's totally fine. You're able to feed somebody. Also, those 2 points to put you at 1.
Cool. Perfect. Okay, 1 willpower. Okay, great. Yep, and we'll be waiting.
So you'll
on
be
Ollie.
fine. Ava, you're at what? 2, 3?
3.
Do you want to feed on the way? Again, you could go through the rack, and that would be fine.
I might. Yes, actually, I'll feed.
Go ahead and go make me your siren hunt roll. You swing by a club. So this way, actually, everybody will probably arrive at the same time. Yep. Nobody's really arriving early tonight. 2 successes is enough to beat normal, especially when you can just awe people. You're able to feed, and you also bring yourself down to 1 hunger. So you're looking good. Everybody's looking under control. We'll say about 2 hours later than your normal. Everybody's kind of straggled in a little bit different times, but no real conversation or serious conversation happens until when you all get together. And since Ava was the furthest away, she'll be the last one to arrive. It'll be Ollie first, then Dakota, and then Ava. So if Dakota and Ollie want to say anything to each other, you'll have
Dakota is particularly quiet and grumpy this evening.
Okay.
She has like a chip on her shoulder. She has not said what it is. She's peeled at least twice the amount of labels she would usually peel. And she's a little grumpy.
Does Ollie say anything? Just kind of give her space.
Night's pretty fresh still. I know I didn't piss you off refilling the petty cash in the till.
No.
So...
I'm not pissed
off.
Wrong? No, nothing is wrong.
Okay, all right. This is a dance that you do.
No,
I get
I
it.
don't dance.
It's interpretive, and I'm picking it up.
It's fine. Everything is fine.
Okay, all right. Well, hey, when you decide that it's not fine, and you want to tell me about it.
Last night it wasn't fine. I'm feeling fine today.
Okay, all right. What happened last night?
Nothing.
All right.
Nothing important. It only slightly affected my evening. It was a great evening.
Okay, that's good. That's good. My evening was generally pretty okay too, I guess.
Yep.
Can I get you anything?
Nope. Maybe another bottle. This one I peeled the whole label. It's gone.
The back door swings open, and perhaps expecting Ava, in steps Grant.
Oh.
Hey, Red. How's it going? Hey, boss.
Hey,
oh, man.
Grant.
Hey, how's it going? I had a nice sleep last night. Thanks for letting me off early, by the way. But I am
I'm
ready to do something. Yeah,
Good news. Good news. I prepped all the patties. I cut all the veggies. I restocked every seasoning.
Well, thanks. As he walks by you and he goes to grab his apron, he looks over to Dakota. Go ahead. You were going to say?
And there are 3 beers here for you to drink without labels.
As he walks by him and he looks over to you, what crawled up your ass?
Nothing.
3 pure bottles already? We're barely even open. What the fuck happened to you?
Nothing.
Why is it always
to
nothing
me?
with you, Red?
Because nothing ever happens.
Which means something fucking happened.
Nope.
When you get argumentative with me, that's when you're having something.
We're
happen.
always argumentative, Grant.
What? Who did you punch yesterday?
I didn't punch anybody.
Who deserved a punch that you didn't get to punch?
You deserve a punch right now.
And do it, bitch. Come on, let's go.
Ollie.
Hey, this is cute. What you guys do? It's great. It's like daytime television. I like that.
Whatever they said to you, it didn't fucking matter. You're here. They're not. And if you need to rip the head off their shoulders, they're already halfway to dead, I'm imagining, at this point. So just fucking, do better.
Don't, Ollie, don't fucking say it. Thank you for your perspective, Grant. It was enlightening.
That's what they tell me. And you just, with a self-satisfied smirk.
Check stock.
Yeah, with a self-satisfied smirk, he walks off. Grabs his apron, ties it before heading over to the refrigerator and starting to count.
That burger is burning, Grant!
I didn't start cooking it!
I can smell it!
All right, be real with me. Moon, say no.
And as you say that, the back door opens again.
No, Moon did not
and in walks
say
Ava.
no.
And in walks Ava Heloise.
So he said yes?
Hey, Ava. Did you find Celia?
Okay, all right. Just let that one. We'll come around to that one.
No, I didn't find her.
Cool. I didn't find Moon.
Oh, he wasn't there. Okay, that feels. Wait.
How'd
it go, Ava? Did you follow her breadcrumbs?
I thought I was following her breadcrumbs, but I was led to something else.
Well, that's vague.
All right, I got some ideas, but I'm not going to pry. I'll let you come to me with this one because...
What did you find, Ava Heloise?
I found... And prepare yourselves, because I can feel the eye rolls and the groans coming in just a minute. I found old notes from Saito. And
okay, do we actually know if he's dead?
I at this point, I'm not convinced. I've never seen a body.
And you won't, because he's stuck in oblivion. So you say he's dead, but honestly, he's not. He's gone, but he's not really gone. So just throwing that out there.
Okay, Eva.
But I found notes to the things he was looking into with the Thin Bloods. I guess he had an old safe house or something not far from here. I don't know why the premonition led me there in thoughts that it would be Celia, but I also included in his notes were notes from Rudy.
Wait, what?
Like creepy Rudy? Like stalker Rudy?
Did you spend the night when you got back? It was really, really late. The sun was almost up. So did you spend any time going over his notes, or have you yet to really go over in detail what these things say? Because you kind of read through it and just kind of got the last bit where...
I haven't looked them over in detail, so I lay the piece of paper out on the table in front of them.
And it's a piece of loose leaf that's yellowed from age, clearly kind of stuck in a crumpled position with handwriting that Ollie would absolutely recognize as Rudy's.
Yeah, there's no mistaking it.
I point to the bottom of the page.
She flips the paper over to the back side and points to the very bottom where there's another note, like the final note scribbled is just like keep Celia away from the Heloise. From Heloise, rather, not the Heloise.
Well.
Yeah, this is what that vision led me to. This note that I need to stay away from her. It didn't lead me to her.
Are you going to listen to it?
What does Rudy know?
Well,
that's the question. We need to talk to him. Why? Why do I need to stay away from her? What does it mean?
What if you realize that you weren't the only Heloise?
There were two of you.
It could be Zach. Yeah, it's.
But also, let's just posit the idea for a minute that Rudy, while he doesn't work with many people, he was working with Soichi Saito.
Apparently.
I hate that. I hate that so much in every way.
I do too. No, it's like a living nightmare when I think about it.
Note swapping.
So follow me on here on this one. You love the guy, or so you believe, right? You follow. You try to tread and follow in his footsteps. Why don't you take the hint then? if this was in his notes and it was part of his stuff, why not just leave Celia alone?
Okay, all right. You know what? Ava's feelings to the side. Let's get why.
I can imagine Ava being like, well, it was Rudy's handwriting, not Saito's handwriting.
Yeah, I don't listen to Rudy.
Why would we
I listen
need
to Saito.
to keep her away from Ava? Why? Who would want to keep her away from Ava? And why are the questions, I think.
Rudy is on Team Sybil, so I'm not listening to a thing he says.
I don't know if he actually is entirely on
Rudy's on Team
Sybil.
Rudy.
Yeah.
Didn't he tell you both that he was like...
Rudy doesn't talk to me.
Rudy said that he is struggling to fight against her call. In more or less terms. When she beckons, when Mom beckons, he has to answer.
Ava, you said something about Celia hearing her shadow talk. Do you think the same thing's happening to Rudy? That's the call they keep hearing?
Maybe.
I bet that's what it is.
Could it?
Is Rudy of her blood?
Did he sire her? Is that what you're saying?
No, is Rudy of Sybil's blood?
Oh, of Sybil's blood. I don't...
Of her bloodline?
I don't know. We don't, you know, we really don't know. But what if she's just calling all La Sombra, right? Like we've seen an influx in La Sombra.
So she's
we talked
just
about that.
Calling all of them blanketly.
Does anybody read the note? There's a lot of handwriting on it. Nobody's read through it other
honestly,
than just the last line.
We should take time to look at this.
We see Ava quickly grab the paper up, and she just begins to flip it over. And as you're talking, you start reading through. It's first thing you know. Actually, I need a wits awareness for this.
From everyone?
No, just her because she's reading it.
Wow.
Roll 4. That's great.
Yeah.
Nice.
The first thing you notice is that this clearly wasn't all written in one go. Some of the ink is more faded than other bits. Particularly, obviously, the very first paragraph is more faded than the second. And though it's hard to tell exactly, there looks to be 4 different occasions that this thing was written on, each in bigger chunks than the last. Later editions. So this piece of paper was clearly being used as kind of an exclusive possible piece of paper that might have been being passed back and forth or what have you. It's hard to tell. It's all Rudy's handwriting, of course. But the more you read, the more you realize that each passage is detailed, I shouldn't say detailed, because it's only a paragraph, but quick notes and descriptions about a current research project. It seems that he was working in tandem with Saito for whatever this seems to be. Initially, what it seems to be is they were just doing research on Sybil's shadow initially. There's a few keywords that kind of stick out to you, though they weren't able to pinpoint it and figure out where the shadow was. In fact, this might be written prior to when you even had the shadow at the end of initially, when the shadow was opened by when Dakota delivered the box and the box got opened.
Holy shit.
Before even Bella had the shadow. It's, again, the paper looks very aged. And as it leads down, what they come to the conclusion of is that the shadow itself is calling someone. The shadow specifically seems to be calling an individual. The box, they clearly were able to at least figure out where the box was and was being moved in these notes. Moreover, they believe, and I got to make sure I use the right term for this. Hang on a second.
The shadow is calling someone. I think I know where this is going.
And the last thing that's written there, you're not entirely sure what it means. Is fuck. I literally just had his name and my brain just flushed it out the other side. What the hell is his name? Right hand man of Sybil. You brought him here. Vital. There we go. You simply say it simply says Vital, passionate feast. That means nothing to you out the gate.
We all just like sit.
So you quickly
pensive.
5 minutes. You're rolling through it. You're like kind of like piecing things together. Again, what you realize the timeline is they believe that Sybil's shadow is separate. They believe they found a box that might contain it. They were tracking the box until they were unable to find their informant, which is you likely pinned that 15 or so years ago or 20 or so years ago when you guys were just a couple of years old. And then further on, the next paragraph, which is God knows how long after the last one, talks about how they've been researching what the Shadow's capabilities. And the last paragraph that's written is they believe the Shadow is calling to somebody. And then Vitel, passionate feast, ?
So, okay, all right. We have this theory, right? We got this theory that the dagger thing is gonna punch through the battery pack, and it's gonna
rip
Big
open
Poppy
a door,
through, right?
Right,
Rip open
Vitel's
a
the
door.
door.
But something we haven't asked, there's been a question that just kind of hit me. Just because you knock on the door doesn't mean anybody's going to answer. How are they reaching through the abyss to let him know that he can come through?
Well, she doesn't even know that he is the abyss, remember?
Right, but she thinks that he's there. So
you think she's got a doorbell?
now what if... So, like, we've seen, right? We've seen how the Thin Bloods have the means to do some of their shit together. In the Tremere, they can start putting their more blood together and do more crazy shit, right? What if the La Sombra can do the same with their abilities? You get a bunch of La Sombra together and they can...
They're like a beacon for the...
Yeah. What if that's... I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking about it.
She was going to use them like cattle.
I thought it was food too. It just made sense.
You mean... I'm trying
what
to...
if...
Just because we open your door doesn't mean you're going to come to it.
Right. But what if...
Use the La Sombra to do that?
They use their shadowy abilities, right, to kind of lure out the beast.
I see.
So you think that maybe the call right now that this note's talking about is actually a call to slowly beckon him to come here?
Yeah, I think it's a double whammy. I think it's a beckon to go through the rip, and then she's going to feed on all of them.
Yeah.
You would know. I mean, this would be common to a degree of like rumor. It would be a common rumor that would have proliferated over, you know what the word I'm looking for, over like the past couple decades, is the whole thing that happened with Ravnos way out in the Middle East. You would have heard, the rumors that would have been, is that an old vampire woke up and called his clan all to him to feed from. And the reason people believe it's Ravnos is because you don't see a lot of Ravnos around anymore. But occasionally Ravnos is seen. So does that mean that it actually happened, or, you know, did he actually get everybody? But there is the rumors that older vampires can draw their own blood to them.
And if we know Celia and a few of the others are actually blood of Sybil, the call must be very strong.
Yeah. Direct lineage and all that shit. So yeah, it makes sense, right? Like that's my take. I don't know. My educated guess is that. But I don't think it's bad. It doesn't sound bad in my head.
Why her, though? She was only turned recently.
I mean...
Who turned her?
We were also turned, right? Like, why us? Right? Like, why anybody, though?
Yeah.
Some questions are better left unanswered.
Exactly. I don't know if the why is super important here.
You know, that was said with particular venom from Dakota. There's loud thunder came out of nowhere, so if I vanish, Texas power grid.
Either way, we still have no dirt on Celia, right?
No.
You couldn't find her?
And I need to stay away from her.
No, but I feel like we're due with the chit-chat with Rudy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
And the both of you have a date with the Chantry.
Yeah.
Do you want to go?
Nope, I do not. I feel like maybe I'm not the right temperament tonight for sundresses and libraries.
What happened?
Nothing.
What did your sire say?
Nothing.
I think that's the problem.
So no gangrel on the table then for Grant.
That's not necessarily true. It just won't be Rika.
That was what I was thinking was going to be said after you said the whole moon thing, but I wasn't going to.
It's fine. I have a backup plan.
Diablerizing a Sabbat? So that you can,
I have a
Grant?
backup plan, which will require much kiss-ass to Bella.
Rosa?
No, maybe. She is technically on the table, though nobody knows where she is. And since, Bella's great embarrassment of the gangrel at the last Elysium, I doubt she's in town anymore.
So what's the backup plan?
I am working on it.
Okay. Well,
did you have any thoughts, Ava, about the note itself with the parts that weren't about Vitel at all? Because you kind of sat silent. I'm just curious if there was anything you had any thoughts on.
The shadow was calling someone, I think, someone particular. And you don't have reasons for them to think that written there. You don't know why. You do have Saito's notebook, and there's lots of notes that didn't make sense to you that you might be able to cross-reference now.
Based on the last note that was made on that was Rudy, right? Keep Celia away from Heloise. Makes a lot more sense that he made that note after Saito's passing, after you got the shadow.
Yeah, it's a more.
Is Ollie insinuating the shadow's calling to Celia?
No doubt.
That's what I'm thinking.
No doubt.
Yeah.
The shadow is calling someone. It's Celia. And if she's with me, she's right with the shadow. Exactly.
Which means she's an important key player, and we have to keep her away from Sybil.
Fine. Then that's it. I made this. I made.
Hey, that's a neat idea. That's a really neat idea. We could. Wow. Why didn't that hit me? You remember those?
Ollie suddenly, like, his eyes widen. There's like a little energy to his speech.
Okay, so like you don't like working with the Chantry, right? I don't really particularly like working with them either. But you know the whole thing that people were doing with like, let's find out our history, let's do our lineage, and they did the DNA test shit so you could find out like where you come from. You know the Chantry got something on that. What if we had some of like Celia or another's blood, and they could like hotspot
run
link
a family
us,
tree,
run the family fucking tree, and maybe not give us names, but tell us where they might be in the city.
That's not a bad idea.
We just need their blood, which we don't have, because we can't find her.
That is something that we can work on, and that this is what I meant by like taking a day to figure some shit out. New information. I like this.
Ava, is Ava just kind of like this? Clearly, not subtle, just like fucking miserable seeming in the moment.
Extremely frustrated, and
it just shows. You're a Tornado.
Yeah.
You wear your feelings on your sleeve.
She grabs her temple.
Like, look, this might be an answer for us to potentially find Celia, right? If she is of that blood, then you can conscript me to at least try to help here. And you already know that there's going to be someone else. Or how many others did you see in that vision, right?
I saw quite a few.
We got some feet to beat, some ground to cover here. Rose is gone.
Yeah. Ava is actually looking now at Saito's notes that were in there too.
Starting to look for some cross-referencing.
The thin bloods. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
Question
here for a bit.
Mathis.
Yep.
Would you say that the abilities that move through generations, so for instance, Cretius to Damien, Damien's abilities themselves correspond based off of how strong his blood is, but it's courtesy of Cretius, right? Because that's how generation works.
I guess I don't know what you mean exactly.
Okay,
like
so
when when he's a fresh
this.
turn, he has a higher glass ceiling than you, but
Correct.
he doesn't start out more powerful than you.
So my question is this: if I were to be able to manifest some of the magic, some of the discipline of Sybil,
sure,
could a Tremere or someone with Tremere-like abilities potentially find?
I see what you're saying. Okay, like
other
if she was to
people
use
with
her
that
shadow's
ability.
abilities, could they use
Yes.
that as an ability? Possible. The thing is, it's blood magic is very whimsy, and it could be possible to use that. However, it would also run the risk of being closer to oblivion and likely more dangerous than if you just had a vial of somebody's blood where they could track down their physical form rather than using their ethereal calling signal and seeing how that goes. But yeah, no, that could work.
This could be an option for us here. You know, you like using the shadow. Why don't we let you do your shadow thing in front of someone that can get us some eyes on the street? And you know who's really fucking interested in this stuff? My friend at the Witch of the Yards. she might be able to help us here. I don't really like the idea of just passing you along to the Chantry, because they're going to do some weird shit to you. But you know who's not? The Witch of the Yards. Well, maybe a little bit. She might like kiss your shadow or something, but she's like always kind of weird. She's naked and she hangs out by fire. All right,
Strange use of that after the night Ava had.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, am I wrong for feeling this way? Like, does this seem like a bad idea?
There's a lot of potential in the shadow stuff, Ollie.
Okay, well,
I used it last night. I used more of it. I was able to just get into a house.
you know, like classic B&E. Like, I can get into a house.
Yeah, not the way you do it. I tried that first, and it didn't work. So I used the shadows.
It's all in the wrist.
I'd be open to this if you want me to go to the witch. We can try it.
Okay, well, good news. I don't have to hang out with Sunji that long. I can just drop this off. Proof of purchase, right?
Yeah.
Can buy some time. Irons in the fire. That's all right. We're just spinning some plates. We're just trying to wait and let some things kind of trickle down the line. And it's good to have that ally at the Chantry, at the very least, doing some footwork for us. But I don't know. What do you think, Red? You want to go? You want to see to the Witch of the Yards, or you got other things going on?
She's not my friend.
Well, I get it, but
for everybody's sake, I'm feeling a little antisocial this evening. So, you know, if you need some support, I'll be there to thumbs up. But
what are you off to do? You just gonna hang out?
No.
You want to hang out with Grant?
No. I have yet to inform the right people that Hannah is missing. Gone. Being taken care of elsewhere. And I thought maybe I'd go work off some steam. Not with the gangrel. They're hard-headed.
Okay. Okay, that's fair.
So you're going to go where exactly?
Would you like my itinerary for the evening?
No.
Maybe just a heads up in case you go missing.
I'm not gonna go missing. I thought I'd go to the dojo.
Okay, sick. That's great. Get out there, you know, flex a little bit. Do a thing.
Fucking peace and quiet. Fucking. Anyways, so.
Yeah. Sorry you had a rough night, Dakota.
Thank you, Ava. It was a fine night. It was not rough. It was fine.
Yes. Sure. Fine.
It's fine.
Okay. You go take that time to yourself. Self-care is important. And I will go with Ollie.
Hell yeah, right along. This is gonna be weird.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
To the
Sunchi.
Tremere.
Oh yeah, going to the Tremere. Yeah. Duh.
I'm gonna go to Sun Chi's house and drop this off, make it real quick, and then I want to hit the Witch of the Yards.
Okay. Well, unless there's more conversation. Yeah, as you're about to split, Grant comes down. He's like, everything's that kind of far. You're already on you. All right, bye guys. Hey, have a good night. And just kind of waves at you as you head out the back door and you all split. Dakota separates from the other two, and you're making your way out to the library first to see if she's there. Meanwhile, Ollie and Ava hop into the local vehicle for the coterie here. And as they pop in, you get the rare just Ollie Ava time as they hit the road. Is there any conversation between the two of you, or do we want to move on from there? You don't have to have a conversation. I'm just curious.
Where'd you put the book? Just like away, because if you have it on you, they're gonna.
It's in my purse.
Okay.
Maybe you just go in, hand the page over. I wait outside. I am not separating with this thing. I'm too deep into it now.
Gotcha. At some point, I would like to unpack what you said about embracing the shadow and using more of that last night, but I'm not super worried about it right now because I'm working a lead.
Yes, that's fine. We could talk about it later.
So does Ava leave it at that, and she actually doesn't bother bringing it up, and the two of you drive in relative peace and quiet then for the ride over to Sun Shi. But before we get there, Dakota would obviously arrive at the familiar building that she hasn't visited in quite some time. How long has it been since you've been to the library?
I used to go to the house, so it's probably been a year or 2 years.
Yeah, been a while since you've been here. And as you suspect, as you make your way toward the back door, you can see a single light on inside. You as you reach for it, it stays just as she's always said it would, unlocked for you. You open the door and swing in, and the smell of books is, quickly overtaken as Dakota willingly breathes it in to enjoy it. The sounds, the muffled, quiet sounds of the library, now just an utter, eerie silence instead, with the occasional shuffled footsteps of a familiar woman, dusting and making sure books are put back in their place. As you round the corner, she doesn't notice as her back is to you, and she's on her tippy toes reaching up to slide a book into place.
Don't let me startle you, but I came to pay my overdue book fee.
As you say, she came not to startle you. She jumps and reaches and grabs her chest, and she turns to spin to you. And there's a moment where it takes a minute for her to recognize. How long has it been since you've seen her?
Oh,
months, right?
Months. It was the beginning of this season.
Yeah, so months, almost a year probably at this point. And as she sees you, and there's a moment of just recollection, you just see her hands from her chest rise to her mouth as she then makes her way over in a hurried walk and brings you in for a hug. But she doesn't say anything right away. It's just that she just enjoys the embrace.
Actually, I think Dakota probably does too.
Yeah, good. She holds you tight for a good 6 to 9-ish seconds, a good 3 or so rounds, before she lets go, but doesn't move, take her arms off you. She just puts them on the sides of your arm and holds you within distance. She looks you up. I swear I didn't think I was gonna see you again. I thought maybe something happened, and I prayed every night that maybe you just left town and you're out checking out New York. And
I'll walk her over to a table, while she's going on and on.
And she sits down in a nearby chair and looks over to you with a really nice bright smile. She's not crying, but you can definitely see her glassy eyes.
I am sorry it's been so long.
What about Hannah? Where is she? She's not with you. She goes into the excited tears quickly begin to turn into panic tears.
Hannah is okay, though not here with us anymore.
What happened?
I don't know. But
was I not? I thought I was, trying to, I know she was a teenager and she needed to start getting her own space. I didn't think she'd just run away. I thought we were doing really well.
She didn't run away. I have been working a lot, which is really good because I've been making a lot of money, and I sent her away to private school. Somewhere.
Private school? How'd you get that? Do I want to know?
Work.
Are you safe? Are you okay?
I'm fine. Look at me.
You haven't aged a day.
Good genes.
I'm glad to hear Hannah's okay, at least. I would have loved to have said goodbye, given a heads up.
But... between you and I, she was in some trouble. And this was the, solution.
What happened?
Wrong crowd.
How'd she get into trouble? Does she need money? She could have come to me for money.
No, she's fine. But I'm sure she'll come visit when she can. But she needed structure.
Well, she catches herself, and she's okay. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
I guess I'm glad to see you because I made it a kind of a tradition. On the anniversary of the month that she moved in, I bought her a $50 savings bond. I continue to do that even though she's been gone, and I just want to make sure she had something in case she ever wanted to go to college or something. It's not a lot, but it could help.
Why don't you make sure it's left in her name?
Can I give it to you to take care of?
Yeah, of course.
And as you say that, she just pats your hand and gets up wordlessly as she shuffles away and makes her way to her desk as she takes a key off of her key ring that's dangling in her pocket and opens up and unlocks the bottom metal drawer. She slides it open. She shuffles around for a few moments as papers are moved before she clearly gets something and she slides it shut. And she makes her way back over with sliding the key back in her pocket, which is an envelope that looks pretty thick. It simply says H on the front of it. And as she places it down on the table, she slides it over to you. That's all of them so far.
I will make sure that she gets them.
She actively grabs your hand and places it over hers that's on the envelope. And as she looks to you and she says, promise me.
I promise.
And she pulls her hand out from underneath it so your hand hits the envelope but leaves her other hand on top of yours and pats it a couple times before pulling it away and allowing you to take the envelope.
You want to make some tea?
I would love that.
I bet Dakota knows how to make tea now.
Oh yeah, I bet.
So
she actually
Dakota
reflexively
will now
stands
make
up
the
to
tea.
go do it.
Yeah,
so.
no. Dakota will get up and make tea.
And you make the tea. And she, Joy's just kind of filling you in on how things have been going. She genuinely, she will probably keep you for 2 hours just to talk if you allow yourself to do so.
Dakota needs this level of capital T therapy today, right?
Sure,
she needs a mom figure that actually wants her to be around.
Absolutely.
She
She hangs on your every word, every update that you give her. She gives the appropriate gasps when you would expect a mom to gasp, except hers are always a little bit more intense than you would want because it makes you feel guilty. However, she genuinely cares and always offers you a place to stay if you ever need it. And if you ever want to change your line of work, I could always use a helper around the library. Very much.
Maybe one day when I slow down, I still got to pay for private school.
She nods and breaks eye contact with you. She understands, but doesn't want to know the details because, she thinks it's something probably not as bad as it actually
illegal.
is,
Yeah.
but is pretty bad.
Yeah, Dakota will hang out for a while until maybe it's time for her to close. Dakota may even walk her home or drive her home.
Yeah, she would love the company.
But yeah, Dakota kind of just spends the night part of the evening with her in this regard in a healthy parental relationship.
Yeah. I mean, if you allow yourself to skip the karate, the dojo, she would keep you in her house until midnight and essentially just talk and watch TV.
Yeah, and I'll probably tuck her in when she falls asleep in a rocking chair and all that jazz. Yeah, that's probably
I know it
the
skips
case.
the dojo time, but she would having not seen you as long as she would push her bedtime quite a bit.
When she finally does fall asleep, Hannah's room is in this house.
Yep.
Does it look like Hannah has come back secretly or on her own?
So you want to head over to the room and just do as you swing
I'll
it
just
open, a quick
peek,
wits investigate. You you look around. You don't do a quick wits awareness, but you spend some time.
I am gonna rouse for this. This is important
Sure.
to Dakota. Wits awareness. You want me to investigate, or you want me to?
If you're gonna spend time, if you're just looking in and getting a glance, wits awareness, but you would miss if there's little details, you will likely miss them.
Okay. We'll hope
how much? It just depends how much time you want to spend. It's like a minute.
Okay,
like a
I
second
got 3.
Three
for the
successes is quite
investigation.
good. As you step inside, the first thing you're greeted with is it's clearly been untouched. She's left the room alone, hoping maybe Hannah would come back, to the point where the bed's not made. It's actually the blankets are half on the floor.
No, windows have been slipped open or anything like that.
Yeah, the bed looks like it was half tossed where she got up and likely was, the night things were started to happen and she ran looking for you. But as you look around, there is a spot in her desk that sits next to the left of the only window in her room that is closed, though it is unlocked. Whether that's been done by Eleanor or if that's left from Hannah, you're not entirely sure.
I pulled that drawer open.
Mm-hmm. And as you you actually see a little envelope on there, a little manila envelope that says savings. And as you grab it, you actually notice that as you pull it back and flip it over, it's actually been slipped open, and it's entirely empty. No money is in there.
So she came back for savings.
And that looks to be about correct, unless she just was spent all her money all the time, but you don't remember that's not how Hannah ever really was.
Yeah.
Dakota, so it's very possible.
Yeah, Dakota quickly goes in her backpack because she used to send postcards.
Yep.
And obviously she's not here at the house anymore, so I don't have an address. Actually, I do have an address now. I have a building. I shouldn't.
You have a building you saw her come out of, yeah, in a license plate.
Seems
on the
like a
pickup
lupine
truck.
building. Maybe we'll wait on delivering postcards. But Dakota will write a little message on a postcard and like set it on the desk so it's not obvious it's new, but like Hannah might see it if it's there.
Yeah, I like
with the
that
message face up, so it's a little like it's a new message. So Hannah hasn't seen it. And then I will actually take what she gave me and put it back in her savings.
Okay. Okay. Got
and then put it back where it was, so that the postcard hints like check your savings again, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that makes sense. I love that. Make sure you just note that in case because you're gonna want to. I imagine Dakota will want to swing by in a week or whatever just to see if it's anything.
If it's there, yeah. I'll note that
sure.
it's that basically I took her bail or her bonds that she got and put them in with the savings. Yep. Okay.
So beyond that, I'd like to then cut over to the other two real quickly. Now, as you arrive at the kind of auxiliary building off to the side, not part of the main chantry where you met Sun-Chi last time, unless you demand to meet with Sun-Chi, you're always going to be met with one of her little peasants that are going to take it for her, even if is that something that Ollie's okay with, or does he want to meet with her?
He wants to meet with her. He's had too many side dealings with various individuals. It's a face-to-face handoff.
So you're going to be left left ignored, but you're going to be left waiting for a while for her to become free on this evening, as it's a sudden visit a few nights after the last one. But you will be able to meet with her about an hour and a half to 2 hours after you request speaking with her. And much like last time, a faceless individual whose face you've never seen before and probably won't see again greets you at the door and asks you just simply to follow them. And they lead you into the same room that you were brought in with Dakota and Ava last time around, with the books and the couch. But Sun-Chi is already waiting there. This time not in a sundress, but actually just a rather simple-looking black dress that falls all the way down to her heels. She looks facing the door, giving a polite and welcoming smile, almost out of obligation, and just waits for you to initiate.
I'll step in and inform her that I don't know him. I don't trust him. I'm not going to work with any intermediaries. It's going to be face to face.
She simply just nods. And then you've arrived with what we've requested.
I will produce and unfold this page from the journal.
And as she reaches forward and grabs it from your fingers, she delicately brings it back to her stoic gaze and looks down to it, flipping it from one side to the other. And she seems to give a self-satisfied nod. This is his handwriting, and this is certainly his work. We'll find the rest with this. And she folds it up, and she makes a quick snap as somebody runs into the room, and she hands it off to them as they run off with it. I've done some reading, and there are some promising leads. It looks like there's an avenue to what you requested, but the details are still a little on the muddy side. There's studies to be done and research to be done, but with paper in hand, I will continue to delve deeper. Likely, at some point, we will need to begin practicing or building our own ritual. Having the blood of the one we plan on doing that to would be invaluable. It is not necessary, but it would make everything likely much smoother in the process.
I understand. And I understand that this is going to take a little bit of time. And I am willing to acquire more pages. I know that you said that you'll be able to find it, but I'd like to continue extending this because I've just recently discovered that Soichi Saito has multiple runoff places where he's hiding material.
We're aware. We've been hunting them down.
And I've come across one.
It saves us some time.
It does. New ask. Something that this might be a bit more understood, so you don't have to kind of dream this up and make this ability. You familiar with family trees?
Yes. Concepts for mortals and, of course, our own kind. Why?
What are the odds that you might be able to track someone of the same bloodline?
Without their blood? Extraordinarily difficult.
If I could get their blood.
Then a matter of just when, not if.
That's great news, Sun-Chi. You're always so helpful. It's what I needed to know. I'll bring more soon.
She shakes her head. The pages are worth a lot less now that we have one. Well, it's
I
appreciated the offer.
You'll be looking for a while, Sun-Chi. I've come to realize that the book has recently been torn apart, scattered in a myriad of places.
Is that so?
Yeah. Listen, I already had intentions of bringing it to you.
The location of Saito's secret hidden loop hideaway. Where is it?
Let me produce it. Not that I have anything to gain from keeping any of it anyway. None of it makes sense. Let me be some eyes on the street. I don't ever expect to walk your halls, but if we could build some rapport here, try to function together. We're going to exist in Chicago, and things are going the way that they're going. It would be nice to have some rapport. Someone that maybe you could lean into if you need some feet on the street. I'm a guy for that. And if I need someone who's better at book reading than myself, bet you're pretty good at that too, based on the amount of titles that I see here.
So what is your proposed offer? To withhold the location of this place?
And I just keep bringing you more. I'll keep bringing you more. And then I'll get this blood. And I need to know where they are, not who they are. I need to know where they are.
Understood, Mr. Hopkins, but keep in mind the Tremere are familiar with lies and deceit. So, I am happy to continue our working situation, but if your plans are to get one up on the Chantry, you will find yourself woefully unequipped.
And I believe that you will find yourself in need of less impressionable and solid allies going forward. And I come bearing nothing but fruit and olive branch.
She shakes her head with a gentle smile. Nosferatu entirely overinformed on all the wrong things. We'll continue working together, Mr. Hopkins. Don't you worry.
The Tremere seem to not realize exactly who has knives at their back constantly. Good thing us Nos know.
She shakes her head. You may make your assumptions, Mr. Hopkins, but unless you are one in the Chantry, you know nothing of what we know.
I don't care. I don't care what you do in your fancy building with your fancy books. I'm looking for friends, Sun-Chi. Someone that can rely on someone else, and vice versa. I know that's hard. I know that's really hard to believe because you've probably spent, much like myself, our entire unlives getting constantly fucked by everyone around us. I'm a simple man. I don't ask much. If you want to lie and prove to be infected with deceit, then by all means. But you'll lose that ally.
She shakes her head. She's like, I'm not the one leading us along page at a time. You're trickling us down a small path and want to consider us friend, but pay us in meek individual pages when we could find the whole book on its own. Now that we have one.
If I could get you the entire book in one go, I would. But I have to pluck it away from the person that Saito left it to. That's the difficulty.
I believe I understand, Mr. Hopkins. So the pages shall be continued to be fed to us when you acquire them until the time comes where we have found the book on our own.
I need you to point out someone who, because I can't wait 2.5 fucking hours for you to show up here. I need someone that you can trust on their blood. Or you need to make yourself more available, and I know that's really hard. Or a means of contact even, so I can tell you to come pick it up from me.
She simply says, the front door is warded. The building itself cannot be seen except for those that wish to see it. Reaching this building and knocking on the door is a sign of trust already. Those who answer it are those who belong or are welcome into this building alone.
Then if I leave the page here with one of yours,
as long as
never comes back on me. Never. If it falls into the wrong hands or someone managed to break your wards, which wouldn't be the first time I've seen some shit like that happen, particularly in hospitals around the area. I trust that you can handle it. I know about wards. Saito used some of that shit on me.
As long as the page crosses the threshold into this building. She nods. Everything you said would hold true.
Then I hope to bring you both blood and pages very soon.
With the request that you have, the blood would be the most expeditious way to do so.
Thank you, Sanji.
Is there a name of this person you're looking for?
Not yet. Not yet. But following this line would be very helpful.
She nods. You are continued to be welcome here, Mr. Hopkins. The door will be there for you when needed.
Thank you, Sanji.
Enjoy your evening and be safe. She stands and kind of just whisks her way out the front door without even waiting for you to leave. Not in a way that meant to be rude or show power, simply that she leaves in a hurry, like she's busy.
Ollie's not sure what to think about a Tremere wishing him well and to be safe. He thinks that's very odd. Almost frightening. He will go back to the van and he will immediately tell Ava that the book needs to be torn apart. The pages need to be split and moved.
What?
They can track the book.
How?
I don't
The
know
page.
blood magic, but you need to split apart the book.
God
You
damn
need
it.
to hide it. Move it around.
I knew this. I knew I shouldn't have. I knew I shouldn't have given it to them.
You know what would be helpful? If you could immediately decide on a couple of pages that are of a lot less value to you.
Well, fine. Okay. All right. All right. I'll do it.
Good news. I don't come bearing entirely bad news. If we can get them blood of someone of Sybil's line, they can find others. She said it's easy even.
Okay. That is good news. We just got to find the blood.
Yeah, and that's why we need to hit the Witch of the Yards, and hopefully we can track through the thing that's attached to you.
Okay. Let's try it then.
And with that, we see Ollie throw the car into drive and touch the gas. And as always, while our vision is still in the vehicle, the car pulls forward and we remain stationary, slipping out the back window and watching the car grow small in the distance. And with a final thud, black screen. And we'll be back next week for our last session before holidays, because it's fucking holidays every other week, I feel like, lately, and I wish it to be done.
Holidays
Thank
and
you guys so much
cons
for
are
swinging
killing
by.
us.
Yeah, no shit, man. Thank you guys so much. We'll be back next week. We're going to go do a mini-sode that will be over at patreon.com afterward. And if you caught this episode kind of halfway or just at the end, you're a sub, you can watch the VOD immediately. If not, the video will be over at youtube.com/rollfort soon enough. Yeah, that's it. No, we go around. Do we do the wait, I forget. Do we do the go around and say
People know
goodbye?
where to find
Yeah,
us.
you know what?
Yeah, you
Here,
know where
watch
we
this.
are. We'll be
I'll
back here
drop
next
it
Saturday.
in
We love
chat.
you. Bye, guys.
Hang on, I can't type that fast.
Type faster.
Okay, I did it. All right,
Thank you,
everybody. We'll
thank
see
you.
you next time.
guys.
Oh, and don't forget tomorrow. For those of you that are live right now watching, tomorrow we kick off scot-free
Yes.
right here on the
We'll be
channel. So, all right, gang. Till then.
Bye.